believe it or not.
Dude, there's PG movies that you go back far enough that has nudity.
Yeah,
Seriously.
really? It's like, dude,
yeah.
who are you
Yeah.
paying? Who are they paying
like,
for this?
I don't know. I remember we were going to watch Clash of the Titans, and it was Clash of the Titans. The remake was coming out into the theaters, right? And that's what this guy Liam Neeson unleash the Kraken, that whole scene. Yeah. So it was Nick. Nick was younger. He was middle school, and I was like, dude, let's watch the original, right? So we had the Netflix shit that you get the disc in the mail at that time, and I was like, yeah, we got the Clash of the Titans, the original, and we threw it on. It's PG. It's fine, right? It's no big deal. And like right near the beginning is these topless women from Greek mythology. I'm just like, whoa, what was that? When did that happen? I don't recall this. And of course, I only saw it back in Channel 11 back in the Bronx a long time ago. So obviously that was never included. but in my head, I'm going, this is.
That was the director's cut.
yeah. I was like, oh man,
the director's cut. Ass and titties.
Yeah. Well, it was just. I mean, they were wearing like the togas, and it was just the top that was exposed essentially, and it just. I mean, it's not like it's lingering anything like that, but it's just at the same time you're not. You just kind of like, whoa,
PG, yeah.
Nick, look at me, Nick.
Forget it. You lost him at that point.
No, at that point, it was like his entire world changed from that moment.
Yeah, he was turned after from that moment. Clash of the Titans.
But 12 party.
Welcome back, guys. This is Arnaldo, aka Maddog, and this is The Real, episode 249 of GG's The Mouthful podcast.
What's the name of this show again that we do?
It's called The Mouthful.
It's two letters.
It's called Good Game. Oh, the letters. It's called GG.
Oh, there you go. And it goes, GG! I got to remember that. I got to write it down.
I think so.
Forget.
I think, you know what? Yeah. Maybe a tattoo would help. This is a memento.
We should get GG tattoos. That's awesome, dude. That's a great idea. We can make it like very. Hey,
I'm surprised we haven't done that yet.
I know.
To be honest with you, I'm like,
I'm not asking for them to be like a chest tattoo, I'm just asking like something little, like, hey, this was some stupid shit that we started in 2014. We just talked to it or whatever we started it, and it's just fun. It's part of us. It's like, here, we'll be the Gigi brothers. We'll be the.
That's what they'll call us.
That's what they call us. You can be one G and I can be the other. No.
Oh my god.
That'll be not super great. But the GG logo, man, the GG logo, like tiny, like that'll be cool.
I think so.
Oh man,
I think it would be. I think we should.
I got excited now.
Yeah, I think we should do this. You know a guy, right? You know a guy.
I know a guy. I know a guy.
Okay.
It's like it's like $50, $100. Our logo, thank goodness, is so easy. It's very difficult to fuck up our logo unless you use like Comic Sans font or some crazy thing like that.
Correct. So, yeah. That voice, of course, is Mr. David Santos, aka Dream Twister. What is up, sir?
PP! Oh shit! I fucked that up again. It was
already, man. You see, if you had the tattoo, this wouldn't happen.
Yeah, I gotta tattoo it on my brain. No, man, not much. Just happy that it's a Friday, and we get to do the podcast, and we get to chill, and the weekend is coming. The weekend, the group, the Blinded by the Light guy.
Yeah.
The guy.
The guy.
Going to his concert. Yeah.
The guy. Well, thanks so much for tuning in, guys. If this is your first time listening to the show, first off, if you can go to goodgame.rocks and ROCKS. Join the conversation there. It takes you right to our Facebook group. And of course, please like, subscribe, and share the podcast with everyone. What we normally do is first we go into what we have been up to, move on into some various news items, and then we finish with our hot topic of the week. This week's hot topic. Missing in Action. Missing in Action, guys. With Chuck Norris.
We're spoiling the Chuck Norris movie. It's a spoiler cast for Missing in Action. So if you guys haven't seen it, spoiler
40
alert.
years in the making here.
Well, somebody needs to talk about it.
I mean, for sure. I bet you there is none. I mean, we do this, and we're literally pioneers for Missing in Action.
Our podcast is gonna shoot up because it's gonna like someone looking for Missing in Action podcast, and we're just gonna be the only the only hit,
the only one there. Yeah, they'd be like, "Oh man, this must be a thing." No, seriously. What Missing in Action is, guys, of course, as we always know, there are lots of games that get shown off either by cinematic trailers. A lot of times they have gameplay trailers. A lot of times they're right around the corner from being actually released, and then for whatever reason they're gone. It doesn't mean that they won't come back, but for the moment they're missing in action, and we have no idea what what's going on with them. No new news has been released. So I'm gonna go through a little list of some of our Missing in Action games that we really want to find to come back.
And see if we can rescue them, or is there one in particular that you were excited about that you just haven't heard back?
For sure.
Yeah.
All right.
By the way, before we go on, I just want to take the opportunity to give a huge shout out to Chaos Reaper, our very own Chaos Reaper, and Dark Necrodancer, who have been streaming on the Good Game Gamer Group on the GG Twitch channel. I believe they're working on Dark what's it called?
Demon Souls.
Demon Souls. The Demon Souls. And it's just really entertaining and hilarious to hear those guys.
Listen to them. Oh my god, dude! It's like Laurel and Hardy sometimes.
It is, right? No, it is.
It's like two Spanish Laurel and Hardys. It's hysterical.
It is. It is really good. On the same time, on her own channel, we have Lady Reaper on her own channel. She streams. I believe she's starting to get into like a schedule actually.
Mm-hmm.
Lady Reaper, Chaos Reaper's wife.
Yeah.
A lot of the content it's what's his name? Not Valorant, but the other one.
Oh gosh, I know what you're talking about.
The EA one.
The other. Oh my god. Hold on.
Yes, please. So she's streaming. I don't know her schedule. Apex Legends. Yeah, thank you. And can you tell me what is her channel so that we can?
It's Miss Reaper to you. Miss _ Reaper, the number 2, the letter U. Miss Reaper Miss _ Reaper to you.
Well, that we completely butcher. Like nobody's gonna remember now. Congratulations!
Well, if they're writing it down as I'm saying it, it should be fine. I'm just saying. Rewind, guys. It's a little
just rewind. Yeah. There's a lot of Apex Legend, a lot of Call of Duty, and it's very entertaining also to hear her and her ladies. So definitely go there, give them some love. And,
fun fact.
Yeah, man.
You can actually sometimes hear Chaos on her stream and vice versa. Sometimes when Chaos is playing a game, you can hear her on his stream. And usually she's calling people chotas, which is hilarious for the record. Good stuff, though. Good stuff, good content.
And Chaos, it's just being Chaos. It's all chaotic and loud. And
yelling, son of a bitch.
What is my blah 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 blah? It's
Yeah.
like her channel's gonna get banned soon for mature for not disclosing mature content, and it's all because of chaos.
It's all chaos fault. Dear Lord, I tell you.
It's gonna ruin her channel, bendito.
All right, guys. So let's. Well, first off, that's good stuff. To see them up there putting up some content, and of course, shout out to the to the boys over at Nivel Escondido as well. Always putting up great content.
That's right. That's right. And all the streamers that take the opportunity to post and let us know when they go live, on the group. We love to see that. We love the engagement, and yeah, like
Yeah.
this is the moment to share the love and go over and boost each other's sites, Twitch up. I feel bad because it's a scheduled thing, guys. I don't stream, and I have equipment and everything to do so, but I just don't because I know I'm not gonna be consistent. So it always I always admire those that put the time, that are able to be entertaining while at the same time streaming and paying attention to the game, because that's not me. If you go on your stream, I'll be super boring. I'll be like all quiet and try to pay attention because I'm not that very good in gaming games, So, people will be coming up on my stream. I'll be completely ignoring them. So that's the reason I don't do it, But there are people that do, and they do it very well, and they're very entertaining. So
that they do.
Go support them. Don't support me. Cause fuck me.
Well done. All right, guys. So let's go ahead and start with what we have been up to. Mr. David Santos, I hear that you've been doing a lot this week. What's going on?
Oh, yes. All right. All right. Brace yourselves, guys. I have a list here that will probably be longer than our topic. I have been playing the one game. I'm still playing Ghost of Tsushima. I want to before I go there. I want to say that I did get an opportunity to put just like a couple of minutes, if that, maybe like half an hour of testing out the Division 2, which it's a PS4 game, but the PS5 patch was released yesterday. And so I downloaded the game. I just wanted to test how it runs, and man, that game it's a great looking game for the generation where it came out, obviously. But this is the first time that I get to experience it in the full 60 frames per second, super smooth. It feels great to control your character. I've always liked.
You were playing on PC before, weren't you?
I have been playing that game on PC. On PC, I'm using keyboard and mouse, and I've already gotten so used to that. But I still wanted to see. I still wanted to try it on consoles. First of all, because if anybody was gonna ever play with me, it was gonna be on consoles. And we had that brief time that we tried it, and we had a good time. It was fun. It was a little thing. It was nice, and we got the game. I think it was for free or
for free,
$3. Yeah. It was free, right? So we all done.
No, I take that back. I think it was like $3. I think you're right. It was.
Like it was like dirt cheap, cheap to get the standard version, and so I wanted to see what were their enhancements, and I gotta say I'm very impressed with the enhancements of that game. It's not like they're not bringing new graphics or anything like that. It's just they're tweaking the graphics that were there. Like you could tell that everything looks very, very clean, and obviously the frame rate is like buttery smooth now. So when you go into those fights, it just this is the version. You realize this is the version that you always wanted to play. Like I think I was mentioning to you guys that I am so impressed with what I have experienced on the PlayStation 5. And this is not exclusive of the PlayStation 5, mind you. I realize that, Xbox uh, has has been doing this as well, and it does have, disadvantages. And sometimes even more, because in some at least the first party titles, the first party Xbox titles, they tend to not just unlock the frame rate, but they also tend to do like graphical updates to some of their games. So I realized their backward is on point. But for the longest time, I remember coming to the release of the PS5. Well, we're concerned about what's the situation with the backwards compatibility of PS5, especially because Sony has always been very forward looking when it comes to generations. They believe in the generation gap almost. Oh, they don't
Leap.
consider
Generational leap. Yeah.
leaps. Yeah, they should leap. I meant to say, yeah. Um, they have never really considered backwards compatibility to be like a major portion. Well, I shouldn't say never, because obviously PlayStation 2 have excellent backwards compatibility with PlayStation 1. PlayStation 3 not so much. Um, but it has never been like a priority. Like, you could tell backwards compatibility has always been a priority of Xbox from all their systems. I mean, even the new Xbox Series X can can play original, OG Xbox, flawlessly. It doesn't miss a beat. On PlayStation, when PlayStation 5 was announced, and we hadn't heard a lot of the backwards compatibility. I think we were all concerned about how is it gonna be. Is it gonna be streaming, titles? Is it gonna be like difficult to emulate the PlayStation 4? And we were wondering what's going on, and it wasn't until like a few months before the release that Digital Foundry showed that video of, oh, by the way, guys, the backwards compatibility of PlayStation 5 is awesome. And
Yeah.
and we got to see it, and it looked too good. It was like, that's too good to be true, that they're actually able to deliver that, because that means that basically almost my entire library of PlayStation 4 titles I could just bring with me. And that's exactly what they did. Minus 10 unknown games that nobody cares about. Um, so far, not all of them, but most of the games that I have tried on, most of the PlayStation 4 games that I've tried on PlayStation 5 have looked so good that it has gotten me to at least wish to try them again. Like, I want to go back to God of War, which recently got another patch. I am even deliberating if I should just jump into the division. The problem with the division is that I kind of want to keep the character that I have on PC, because I don't play that much, but at least that's the character that I have put more hours, and that I've beaten the game and the expansion and all that. And it's a shame that I can't bring it to PS5. Like, I don't know. I wish, and especially for a Ubisoft game that has been doing the cross save.
Yeah.
I guess the crossplay so well. I kind of wish they did that with the characters on the Division 2. But I digress. This the Division 2 looks good. I'll probably jump on it. But like I said, I've been playing a lot of Ghost of Tsushima, and I'm starting to feel the weight of it a little bit. Like, that game's great. Don't get me wrong. I still feel like that game is spectacular. I finally got into episode 2 of
Act two.
Act 2. Because evidently I was trying to clear out a bunch of the things that were on the landmass that you are that you could travel when you first start the game, and it's a vast landmass. I'm not fast traveling or anything. I'm just going place to place, taking my time, getting my encounters, getting my characters stronger and stronger, and having that feeling of, oh, I must be almost not close to the end, but at least three quarters, right? I should be pretty close. Once I close this, maybe Act Two is probably gonna be something short, and dude, you finish Act One, and you open up into Act Two, and then that map just like whoosh, like you see the rest of Tsushima Island, and you're like, fuck. I guess I guess this island is kind of big, huh? And it turns out there is a lot to do. But the only problem is that a lot to do has to do with doing the same thing that you have been doing. So, which is fighting, which is not a critique in necessarily, because the fighting is great in this game. You know, the I love that. This is one of those few games where the fighting makes it's realistic. It's not hack and slashy or anything like that. It's like you're trying to hit the enemy at an opportune time, because some of the time they're going to be able to block, and sometimes you have to wait for your shot and parry and all that. But it's also not slow, um, like I don't know, like a Dark Souls, for example, just to give you an example, where the combat can be, it's fun on that also, but it's mostly, uh, it's a little bit more passive. I feel like it's a little bit more strategic, because you can't fuck up in Dark Souls. You do one wrong move that you can get possibly one shot, depending.
Mm-hmm.
But no, but here it's very quick, but it's not hack and slashy. It's not like, oh, every time I'm swinging my sword, I'm hitting them. So it feels very realistic. You're blocking, you're pirouetting, you're parrying, and it feels good. But like I said, after doing that for, I feel like maybe 20 hours of gameplay, if I had to guess, or for what's possibly like what it feels like it's gonna be like an 80 hour or 90 hours, or who knows, depending. Looking at that island, it's like, ooh, okay, I'm not talking about, this is not the size, this is not, Assassin's Creed Odyssey side of map, but it is a map where you do have, quite a bit to do,
Mm-hmm.
and I mean, I'm still interested. This is a game that I intend to beat. I'm not gonna abandon it. I know I'm not gonna abandon it. But yeah, it's that it's the way like a lot of people were mentioning, like, oh man, that game, it's just too repetitive. It's too repetitive. I can see where they're coming from. The difference will be, well, are you enjoying the repetitiveness of it? Like, if if the thing that you're doing repetitively is fun, then at least that could push you through it a little bit, to playing it a little bit more. But if you were bored from the get go, then yeah, there's nothing else there. The game's not gonna suddenly present you with any surprises that I am aware of so far. It doesn't look like it's gonna present you with any surprises where it's just gonna change the way you think about it.
Mm-hmm.
And also, I enjoyed the progression. I just feel like, because I have spent so much time doing the menial things and going here and there and fighting so much, that my character does feel a little OB. Like, I can go into a fight with a bunch of those, Mongolian army, and get close. I mean, I'll get to where I will have to heal myself, but I'm not feeling like, oh, this is just gonna destroy me. If they see me, I'm just gonna straight up die, and it doesn't feel like that, which maybe
Yeah,
is a
yeah.
good thing.
It's definitely
Maybe.
not a. Yeah, it's definitely not any type of Dark Souls or anything like that. But
No.
yeah, it's just even I'm concerned. I was like, it's sticking
Yes,
to, but
sir.
like I was able to do the, like, there's some side missions, story missions. I'm trying to remember the name of it, but they're like specific Tales of Tsushima, I think that maybe it was called.
Yeah, the Tales.
The
Yeah.
Tales of Tsushima I did, and stuff like that, but for the most part, I wasn't lingering, and you know what I mean. I definitely,
Oh,
after
I
a while, I
linger.
was like, I was not cross country, riding my horse. I was like, nah,
I
we're
am
gonna fast travel
lingering.
this bad boy.
I am lingering, and I'm taking the panoramic scenes because I want to find all the fox dens and all the bathhouse, not the bathhouses, but the little spring,
The springs, yeah, the hot
yeah,
springs.
the
Mhm.
hot springs, and all that jazz, because it's cool. It's not it it's not like the greatest exploration, but it is fun. It keeps me entertained. Plus the game it's great looking. I
For sure,
I've
yeah,
always
for sure.
I always mentioned, aside for the little bit of like the lighting issues that I have in some, sometimes during the day, for the most part that game is gorgeous. It's just like breathtaking. It looks so good.
Yeah.
So yeah, I'll still play more than that. Sorry guys, I don't have anything interesting, any other interesting like last minute games.
Oh, right, yeah,
uh,
it's fine.
playing, so.
For me,
And
I was able. Oh, I'm sorry.
oh no, I just want to say that even though I haven't watched any particular movies or anything like that, I gotta say that I have been quite entertained the last few weeks, and I haven't mentioned it. Uh, but I have been diligently watching Anthony Bourdain's Parts Unknown,
Hearts unknown.
which was a recommendation from my mad dog over here. Yeah, yeah, yeah. It looked at first it looked like the last type of show that I will hold my interest, because it's like this it's a lot about the way I was thinking is like, oh, they're just gonna show like cuisines from different parts of the world, and like I'm not a foodie, so it's just gonna go straight at. It's probably gonna be interesting, but I'm not gonna get past episode 2, but it turns out that it is super captivating, it's super entertaining, uh and
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 insightful.
educational, insightful,
Mhm.
exactly, because you're not you it's not specifically about cuisine, like I thought it was going to be. It is more about, we're going to go into this area of the world, and it could be anywhere. It could be from a far reach area that you don't see on only but like documentaries on Animal Channel or something like that, Animal Planet or whatever that channel's called, to like frigging East LA or someplace like
Yeah,
someplace here
yeah.
in the States, and and it brings you a view of the culture of whichever area they're visiting, and obviously a major part of the culture of the areas where that they visit is the cuisine. It's the food. Food is a big part of it's a big cultural thing.
Mhm.
So of course they're gonna include that, and I gotta be honest, there's some place there that they showed that I'm like, man, that looks amazing. If I were into eating like eels and stuff like that, because the presentation is like perfect 10, and that looks succulent, but I would not touch that. You know, I will not touch that at all. And
One of
they
my
can say
favorite.
it tastes like chicken 10 times, and I'm gonna be like, nope. What is this, heart of a what animal? Nope. I'm not having it, but it still looks great.
Yeah,
And
Yeah,
Or
for
you
sure.
guys
For a foodie, as a foodie, I can tell you that, man, when those dishes come out, most of the time I'm just going, I think I could smell that. It's just the way I view a lot of that. But no, you're right. The show isn't just about that. It's the main reason why food is involved is because food is the it's the one thing that connects us all. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
And I love the way there are connections to all of us in different nations. When you really look at their cuisine, you just go, wait. So
That's what
if
this
you
is
put
coming
that
from.
together, it's like it's almost like you're gonna run into a couple places. You may even notice this, that what they're doing is taking certain vegetables to make a seasoning paste, and then you go, okay, well, that sounds like sofrito, right? Because that's essentially what sofrito is. You know what I mean? It's just a different version of it, and some places, use that to season the pot at the beginning. Others use it towards the middle. It's fascinating in many ways. And then on top of that, you really learn a lot about the people. There's one episode you already seen that is probably is my favorite, but it's also probably the saddest episodes, and that's Libya. When he was in Libya with Gaddafi and all that, I was just like, oh my god, that's a rough episode. When you seen the makeshift rocket launchers and little catapults that they were using to fight an army.
Army, yes.
Damn,
yes. And they were able to,
and they were to win. They were able to win. Yeah, it's like, man. And they used Twitter. It's like, how did you know? Is it? Oh, we connected with NATO via Twitter.
Yeah.
It's like, what the hell? It's so fascinating. You know what I mean? And it's very contemporary. That's 2013 was season 1. And he tragically took his life in 2018. So it's still fairly recent. There's a lot of talk early on. It's because you look at the timeline, you just kind of know what's coming up in the timeline of the world. A lot of talk of the newer president coming in on 2016, all this stuff, and it's just like, and it's funny to hear his feeling where he's like, man, it's going to be, you can tell that he feels it's going to be rough, and here we are, we're still kind of dealing with a lot of the fallout. But anyway, I'm not going to talk about that. But the whole point is, it's such a fascinating show, and I'm so freaking happy that you're watching it.
I am totally enjoying it. Mainly because I liked something that this program shows us is that no matter the situation of these people, that of whichever country they're lived in, like it could be something very very social and very man, that would be like a dreamland to be like Spain, for example.
Yeah.
Or which is like, man, I am in the wrong country. That looks amazing. It's like it's so. But then there's some other areas like they visit like the Congo. That was one episode that they go to the Congo, and the one that you just mentioned now, Libya and places like that, where it's like, Jesus guys, like this is the part of the majority, that a large swaths of this planet are countries like that, because obviously as humans we can't get along with each other. So the constant infighting for everything causes the people to live in that in the horrible ways, and it makes you feel bad, but I mean, not in a way that you don't want to stop watching. Obviously, it makes you.
But it opens your eyes.
It makes you appreciate.
Yeah, exactly. Yeah. And that's one thing he preaches in his things. Like, it's if only more people, more Americans will get their passport and just travel and just see how things are elsewhere, because that's the only way you would appreciate what you have. You know what I mean? Because we like it or not, we're in a nation of spoiled brats. We're spoiled. And I say we as in general, I'm included in that we. You know what I mean? We are spoiled. And when you see that, that's not the way things are all the time. And as spoiled as we are and as great as we have things, it's not, it's not far-fetched for us to fall into some sort of issue like a lot of these other nations are having. So
yeah, like the infighting and stuff like that. It is like you see, like the Jerusalem episode where you see, well, shoot, they're showing the area of the device, like the Gaza Strip, and how there's a wall there, and then you get a picture of that wall, and you're like, that's the frigging wall that this guy was trying to build here in the state. It's like the exact same things. Like you can see where the inspiration comes from. But then you see the way that the people are living, but at the same time, like they learn to adapt. That lifestyle. You can still see them. They even in their struggle, they're united, and they're always like. All of these areas that they've shown, they've always shown one thing, which is like family. Family's first, and it's kind of amazing. Like I really like learning about all these different cultures, and the fact that the show is very random. Like it starts in one place, the next episode is a completely different area, and you get to it little pieces, obviously, because they're like 45-minute. They're 45-minute shows. You don't get to see everything, but at least you get awareness. Like I knew about Gaddafi by the name. By what I've heard from the news from back in the day, but I didn't know what the actual struggle was. Until they presented it.
Exactly. And each one of not each one, but a lot of times these easily open up a rabbit hole into the internet that I have fallen through, and suddenly I am on like the 13th video essay regarding the political struggles of a certain indigenous folk at this. You know what I mean? It's just like I'm like just absorbing all of it. You know what I mean? And I'm like, man, and I just think just like he mentioned, I think it's very important that everybody at some point get out of your comfort zone, go to some place. You don't have to. Obviously, you're a visitor, so you just there to experience it for the short period. But to really just to see, and when you come back, I never forget. One of the things I'll never forget is we went to Italy, and Italy's a socialist country, for the record, guys. So we were at a grocery store. They have a situation where they don't have bags, and we learned this the hard way. They don't have bags at all. You have to either purchase the bags, but for the most part, they try not to. They're expensive, first off, for good reason. And so this guy, he dropped like, I want to say it was like it would have been the equivalent of like a 5-cent or 10-cent, a coin. On the floor, and I was like, "Oh, let me grab it." I think it was from this guy who was in front of me, and I just grabbed it. And dude, he was so appreciative because I think he was counting, and he was counting it over, and in counting it over, and he dropped one, and he didn't notice it. And then, because he was getting something specific from that particular grocery store, and that's all he was able to get. You know what I mean? And and so when I gave him the coin, I was like, "Hey, man, you dropped this." Dude, he was just like, "Oh, gracias, yeah. And I was just like, "Oh, no problem, hey, yeah." And he was able to grab whatever, and he's just like, in my head, I was like, "Dude, it's all right, man. It's just a coin, But think of here in America, how often do we see coins on the floor? We don't even touch them; we just leave them there. You know what I mean? And it's that crazy of a situation that you can be in, and of course, you can be that way here in America too. I mean, don't get me wrong. Americans are also have plenty, especially now in the pandemic, are suffering from poverty and stuff like that. But it's just to realize that that these things happen for other reasons. And there was no pandemic at the time, guys. For the record, there was just a normal day in the middle of April in Italy, and we were in Rome on top of that, so it wasn't like it was the backwoods or anything like that. So it's important, and I think everybody should get a passport, even go one place, maybe two, in your lifetime, and we've planned to go for more,
Yeah.
Hopefully, with the pandemic,
I know you were. Yeah.
Yeah. With the pandemic coming, what appears to be coming to the end, hopefully, we'll be able to get back on track. So, but yeah, man, good stuff. Anyway, so what I've been doing, I have been doing a lot. So I'm just kind of, it's a lot. So I'm going to kind of just fly through it, but I'll fly through the smaller stuff, but I will kind of go into the bigger.
You're the yin to my yang. You're here to bring balance. It's like, don't worry, bro. You haven't got it. You haven't done a lot. I got you.
I got you, bro.
I will unload right now.
Yeah, sit back, relax, and enjoy the ride. So first off, after beating Miles Morales, I was very happy with my experience with Miles Morales, with the entire PS5. And I said to myself, you know what? I know that Cyberpunk plays better. We know that already. It looks better. Let's get back into it. Let me do it now. You know, it'll probably be something, you know, that'll look better, blah, 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 blah. So I ended up downloading it, and when it came up, I was like, okay, created a new character again, very similar to the character I created before. I have a specific taste. Leave me alone.
I never saw the character you created originally, so I can't.
Oh, okay. Well, I didn't take a picture of this one. Yeah, I didn't take a picture of this one, and unfortunately, I played about just over 3 hours total.
3 minutes.
Yeah, and I played through the first main mission, which is the mission we saw in the original gameplay reveal, and all that, and it played well. It was okay. This is doing all right. It's holding on to its frame rate. It visually looks much better. It's not as grainy as whatever the fuck was wrong with the PlayStation 4 version. It was very grainy. And I know what it was trying to do was just trying to have that look, and it just couldn't do it faithfully. So it got this little grain going. But I ran into a couple of weird bugs. I came back to my car. My car was floating for some strange reason, and I couldn't understand why. I was like, okay. And I was like, all right, let me just, whatever. It is what it is. Open world, you know, we'll move on. I remember, you know, Roach flying not flying, but, you know, acting weird, you know. So, all right.
From The Witcher,
yeah. And then I was walking to the location that I need to go for something, and the characters got to be within the game, but the game's version of 10 feet away, and boom, a cop car and something happened, and it just popped up right there, just literally out of like the blue, just bloop, and I was like, oh, you know, and it happened twice. Those are the two major ones. The other ones were little small things that weren't, you know, were very insignificant, but it just like I was getting into it. Like I was really getting into it. It's like, okay, I'm enjoying what I'm like. I like the story so far. I like my character V. I've got a female V. I like her best friend. I can't remember his name now, which is her partner, and he's pretty cool. Mexican dude, really cool. And I'm enjoying everything that's going on. I love the fact that they don't. What I love about sci-fi, when sci-fi is done right, is when they don't need to give you any exposition to what they're talking about. They speak in their language because that's the way that world works. They don't have to explain it to you because you're literally visiting. You know what I mean? And here is the exact same way. That said, I've seen a lot of sci-fi stuff, so I kind of already know what they mean. You know, I can kind of put together what they're talking about. But they have their own language, and I'm getting absorbed. And every time something like that happens, it knocks me out of the game. It just knocks me out of being absorbed into the game.
Everybody was saying, that was the main concern on all reviews. Yeah. The bugs that will take you out of the immersion,
the experience. Yeah, I'm immersed. I feel like I'm in Blade Runner, and then suddenly my car's floating. Suddenly, this thing pops in out of the blue, and it just, I literally, if it didn't pop into the blue, it would have popped in on top of me because I was walking towards it. You know what I mean? And I'm like, oh my God. So I was like, I cannot do it. I was like, I want to, but I just can't, you know? And so I stopped and I uninstalled it again. And I think I told you at that point, I was like, I honestly don't know if I'm going to go back. You know, I want to, man. I really, really want to. It's just like, I don't know because this is twice now. And And I've at some point I just go, I've moved on. You know what I mean? I said at some point it becomes too late, and I've moved on. And every time I think about Cyberpunk, I really think about is disappointment at this point. You know what I mean? So I don't have anything great to hang on to saying, oh yeah, let me go back to Cyberpunk. It's got to be fixed now. That's not a good feeling,
I feel like that. I feel like that game is. I mean, it could have its turnaround point. Like we all remember how terrible No Man's Sky was received on reviews and all the bugs and all that. And I feel like at one point you started to hear the message turn. You started to hear like, oh, now is the time to play this, like, or now is the moment, because they were working on it in the background, and yes, they were working on it incrementally, and I feel like if you just go to the very next patch that they release, you go, okay, let me try it now. Okay, let me try it now. Okay, let me try it now. I feel like that's just gonna wear you out. Whereas if you just wait for the narrative to change at some point, well, what you hear it from whatever, they say, okay, now it's a good time to jump in. Perhaps that will be the best time to to try it. And it doesn't matter. Like, I played Witcher 3. Didn't you say it was like 5 years after it was released or something like that?
It was like it came out in 2015. You played it 2019, so I guess about 4 years. Yeah,
4 years. Yeah. It was. And hey, I didn't miss out. I didn't feel like it took anything out of the experience. I think I will put that game as being like phenomenal, fantastic, one of the best games, of all time. It is, and the detail on everything was, nothing felt dated. If anything, it was the opposite. Everything was feeling, because everything was running so well and so smooth, and I was playing on console. I had the game on PC, but I was playing this one in particular. I made it, I think, to play it on console, and the experience was superb. And I think that's one of the reasons why I just said, hey, I'll just, to me, it hasn't been released. This game just hasn't been released. They already got my money. Yes, I'm not justifying them in any way whatsoever. I still think it was shitty. And if I would have been another person, I would have gotten my money back and then bought it on a Steam sale, when it got fixed. But
yeah, I think I think it could be because I've gone back so far. But I went back because I played on PlayStation 4. Base console. Yeah. And obviously ran into what everybody ran into. And I was like, ugh, yeah, exactly. And then now it's 2 months later, several hot patches have gone in, hot fixes, excuse me. And so on top of that, I have the PlayStation 5. The PlayStation 5 version at launch was playing fine. According, it still had bugs. Even the PC had bugs. But at least that had a better starting point. And here we are 2 months later. I'm going, okay, after all these hot fixes, it's got to be at least close to what it should be, right? And it's closer, significantly closer than the PlayStation 4. But and part of me was just like, I can look past this. This is what I was telling. I was literally telling me, I can look past this. I can look past this. Just need to look past this. That's all. And I just couldn't. At some point, I was just, when that thing literally popped up, I was just like, oh God. I was like just saddened. I was just like, oh.
CD Projekt Red.
Yeah, it's just such a bummer. And like I said, at this point, I have, as I speak to what else I've been playing, it'll kind of get into, why I don't know if I'm going to come back. I may be past that one. First of all, I have a backlog that is ever growing for some reason. I don't know why. I don't know what I'm doing to myself. But anyway, my point is I installed it. I moved on to this little title I had on my backlog, which I was like, let me just start on this. It's not that big of a game. It's called Creaks, Creaks, which is
that's the problem right there. It's like, what the fuck is Creaks? I've never heard of it. You're just grabbing some random games from that you're doing it to yourself. That's the problem.
No, hey, I enjoyed this, for the record. Okay, it's a little game from a small indie development company called Amanita Design. It is a puzzle platformer, but like more puzzler than anything else. Each area you basically have to figure out a way of either moving certain items or triggering certain events so that you can get through from one end to the other. And every so often it introduces a new puzzle element into it. It's done in a very the art style is very hand drawn, but almost very what do you call that? It's 2D, not 3D, but almost like the Corpse's Bride, that type of Tim Burton-ish look. Yeah.
Yeah. I was gonna say claymation, but I don't know if that would that be
yeah, that's claymation, but I meant to say the more of the arts, the particular not art style. I guess that is claymation art style. This is more side scrolling, but it has that really weird Tim Burton world. You know what I mean?
Okay.
You know, Nightmare Before Elm Street, Nightmare Before Christmas. That type of weird elements. The world, the characters all look a little bit off because they're drawn a little bit or made to be a little bit off. That is claymation, but this is not. This is just, it has that feel to it. So that's really what it is. It's enjoyable, not easy. It really does get challenging at some points because some of the puzzles can be. But I love stuff like that. I love puzzles. You know what I mean? So I've always enjoyed those, and this is a good one. This has been on my list, and I had got it probably a little while back, and I was like, well, fucking Cyberpunk let me down. I really wasn't in desire to play anything else, so I said, let me just play this. But then after I played that for probably a good maybe 10 hours into that, I was like, I want a freaking big RPG. That's what I want. You know, I could not let that go. And I was so bummed by freaking Cyberpunk that what did I do? I decided to go back and start over my playthrough through Greedfall. And
okay.
Which was I started it on PlayStation 4. Then I got a PlayStation 5, and that shit and I only got probably maybe an hour and a half into it. I wasn't even that far in. And so I was like, it's like whatever. And then PlayStation 5 came in. I was like, well, I have bigger and better things to do. Sorry, Greedfall. And then those bigger and better things disappointed. Well, Miles Morales, Miles Morales was great, but so I was, let me go back to Greedfall, guys, is a game from Focus Home Entertainment. It's an open world. Well, more a hub open world, not open world, and a third person action RPG. Essentially, it takes place. It's in a fake world, for the record, but it's sort of like colonial times. You've got your muskets, but you also have swords being your primary weapon. You have magic, stuff like that, and you play as a character. I put as a she, but she's a diplomat. And here's where the game really is good, and that is the story. The story is fascinating in the sense that they're discovered this new island. The island is inhabited by its local tribe folk. But there are three factions technically. One is a very religious faction that, their major thing is to make sure that everybody in the world gets converted to their religion of whatever their religion is. And the other one is much more of a science type thing. These two factions don't really get along well. So you as
this is a fake world. This is a fake world you're talking about, right?
I mean, that's what I'm told. Yeah.
Sounds like commentary.
It says, any similarities to the real is completely unintentional. So who knows?
It should say any similarities to characters depictions are really implied.
It should, for sure. And then you play as the character of the major government, but you are like the diplomat. So you're consistently the missions and side missions are really interesting in the sense that they're very varied. Sometimes you think you're making the right decision and it doesn't turn out that way, but the story goes on and it just is what it is. That was its highest point. The one thing I can say, man, this is fascinating. I'm just like
Yeah.
But unfortunately, it has its shortcomings. Unfortunately, its battle system, for the record, is actually another good point. You have your way of obviously fighting with your sword, and then using a pistol, which is actually pretty cool. The way you kind of go back and forth with them, it's really good. You have a party of up to 3. They control themselves, the other 2, and I don't believe you have to worry about any of them dying, because I haven't had to worry about any of them. So that's good. Always a good thing. Yeah. You have some missions which are funny because you need to dress as a specific faction in order to walk into certain areas. But for whatever reason, if you're a party of 3, just me has to dress in this. Everybody else is fine, I guess. It's like, all right.
Everybody else is cosplaying,
Yeah, yeah, exactly. So these type of things are like, whatever. This is an RPG. You can forgive certain things. This is a game made by Spiders, by the way, which did a few other RPGs. But this is just the company's called Spiders. Yeah, they've done some other interesting games. But anyway, where the shortcomings come, guys, has to be the world design. I'm okay with the hub section. Like, you'll leave a city and it hits a certain point where you have to whatever, and then you kind of select where you want to go on the map, and it just cuts to like halfway through, and now you're in a little open area, and then it cuts again once you get to the other side of the area. It's almost like Final Fantasy X in that sense, which is kind of weird, but anyway, that's 1. 2, there's something else I just couldn't get past, and that is every interior of every house has the same look. It's just the same design. I went to one a mansion that belonged to my cousin, the character's cousin. Then I go to the palace of the religious folk. I can't remember their names, and the palace is again same exact layout. Yeah, same exact layout. I mean, obviously a little different because now they have crosses up, instead of whatever, or suns. No, because I guess they praise the sun, and so
praise the sun. Okay,
yeah. So, anyway, I went to someone's house to help them with something. Same house. I go to my house. Same house. And I'm just like, what? I was like, I couldn't. Again, it's one of those things like I just couldn't get past it. And then the mission structures, like there was several side missions in a row, and one main mission that had no battle. So I was just like, okay, this is interesting, but at the same time, I'm like, this still is an action RPG, guys. I should be fighting something here, even if it feels forced, throw it in every so often,
Now that you were just walking then?
You would go talk to these people, kind of, you have to be able to talk people out. You have ability to intimidate, charm. Obviously, you can bribe sometimes in some cases. Yeah, you have those choices as well, and obviously, the more you have a certain stat up, the better you can be at charisma or intimidation, stuff like that. So, but in the end, it just. I could, what it is like, I realized after, like at first I was enjoying it. And after I realized this is just literally a consolation prize, it's a Cyberpunk. And while it's good, it just wasn't, and the enemies, dude, everywhere I went outside was the same, not the same, but it was the same bear looking thing. Like sometimes it was black, sometimes it was brown, other times it had long hair, but it was the same 4-legged bear. It was like, what the hell? And I don't know, bro. It just, I think at some point I just like, I can see the strings. You know what I mean?
Yeah,
You're no longer mystified because now you're seeing the string. When you see that all the interior houses look like, okay, well, and you kind of forgive it, like, well, it is, it's a smaller developer. Okay, we'll look past this, and then we move on, and something else rears its ugly head, and you're like, well, it's okay. Spiders is trying, you know.
You're like holding to dear life. It's like, well, it's it's a small developer. They can get away. It's okay. I can forgive them. It's a
in many
smaller
ways,
budget.
in many ways, this could be considered adorable. Let's just call it that. It's adorable, spiders. Good try. Good try. Way to
Well, the
go.
fact that you consider it a consolation prize. It's like, oh, this is not cyberpunk. What cyberpunk should have been.
Exactly, that's what it is. So, and that's honestly the only thing I gravitated to it again. And I really, because at this point, I put in a good amount of hours into this game. And when I say good, I mean I'm talking about again maybe
You said like
10
hours.
So, yeah.
So that's actually a chunky amount.
Yeah, exactly. So, but at some point, like I said, it just started being, it was weird. It's just, there's these little elements that feel like, I would say, and I actually looked this up, a lot of comparisons were drawn to early BioWare and Dragon Age, and just like it has that feeling. So I'm like, okay, all right, and that's, the reason why I kind of jumped in, and it does. But then again, BioWare has moved on from some of these things, So it's like, yeah, exactly. So, anyway, and then from there, these guys were playing Demon Souls, and I want to play Demon Souls. I'm not going to lie. I do want to play it, but I don't have it. I don't really have the additional funds to get it, in the meantime. So I went, and I have actually had this. I bought this, Dark Souls Remastered. I have it on, I had it on PlayStation 4. And so
you had it already.
Yeah, but I bought it recently, probably in the last 6 months. I just haven't gone to it. It was on sale, and I was like, oh, let me just get that. Yeah. And watching these guys play, and I'm like, man, I'm kind of wanting to play this. So here I am now. I'm actually a good amount into the game already. Because I was playing earlier today. I was playing probably for a good 5-6 hours today, just from today. And I'm already at the Bell Gargoyle. So I'm already at that point. Yeah. So it's I'm enjoying it, and of course I'm looking forward to Blythetown not looking the way it looked before.
You're going to Blythetown on the remastered version on a PS5.
Yeah.
It's basically you're telling the game, fuck you, game. I have you now. Let's see who chugs now.
Yeah. It is. It
ruined my game, my life. The last time I tried you. Now I'm bringing the fucking PS5. I'm gonna own the frame rates, motherfucker. That's what you're saying, basically. There.
Basically, yeah. It is. It runs really well. It runs exceptionally well,
Really?
and I'm sure it did even back on PlayStation 4, because this is a remaster of a PlayStation 3 game. So I'm pretty sure it was already looking good. So it does run very, very well. And I am enjoying it, man. I'm just getting back into the little things that you got to do with some of these bosses where you're like, oh, I remember there's a little trick to this guy. You know what I mean? And I have to just go back in, and because I remember when I played Dark Souls the first time, I was in, bro. I was in. I was just like, wow, this is awesome.
I remember.
Yeah, and I got into it, bro. I don't know how far I got into it, but I got into it. Several bosses.
Blythetown.
But you can. There was a lot of stuff that I had done, but yeah, you're right. Basically, the moment I went into Blythetown, and then I was like, I can't go in there, and I started doing everything else outside. I really couldn't do anything else. You have to go to Blythetown, and it just, I mean, this was in the single digits of frame rate. And I was like, I can't play this. I don't know who can, I'm like, I don't know who's playing this shit and not dying because you don't see the attack coming at you because you're still on the other frame where the character's just standing there, The next frame after that is him stabbing you, you're like, whoa, that happened pretty quick. Anyway, so that's actually what I'm playing now. And frankly, since I really don't have much else, I feel like I'm going to be here for a little bit, and I'm okay with it. I'm really enjoying it. I'm really enjoying it. I am. Oh God, what is the? I'm like level 32 or something like that.
Wow.
And yeah, I've been doing. I did that the first time, so this time I kind of did the same thing where I just grinded out in the very, very beginning for a while, so that I can, because I don't. Not that I want to be obviously super strong, because there's no such thing as being super strong in this game. At least I don't think so. But at the same time, I want to be at a good point where now things are manageable. So now as I'm progressing through the game, there's still several little mini bosses. I'm taking them out on the first try, because one, I kind of get the handle of sidestepping everyone and rolling. Obviously you need to roll, and the timing behind that. And stuff like that. So I'm like, okay,
this is like coming back.
Yeah. It does feel like it's coming back. So yeah, I think I'm going to be here for a little bit. And I'm actually excited about that, because I'm like, you know what? I don't have Cyberpunk, which would have been my futuristic, awesome RPG, but I do have this RPG, which is your gritty, really gritty RPG with a lot of elements, and I'm all right with that. So that's what I think I'm gonna be sticking with. Now, as far as what I've watched, I watched two things. I'm gonna get one out of the way, and that is HBO Max obviously had their first movie that's in the theaters now, and obviously it's on HBO Max as well. It's called The Little Things, and this is their first of 2021. This movie stars Denzel Washington, Rami Malek, and Jared Leto. And it is, it's okay. It is okay. It has some interesting things that it tries to do that's new. So the story essentially is, and obviously this is non-spoilers in the trailer and everything, but Denzel plays a sheriff or a deputy from another town. He has to go back into, I think it's LA, if I remember correctly. He has to go back into LA to get some sort of evidence or something, and stumbles upon what appears to be an old case of his. And of course, this opens up to who he is and why he left and all the usual stuff that comes with that kind of thing. Rami Malek plays Rami Malek. If you don't know him by name, he was the main character from Mr. Robot. He plays a cop in LA, and he he's a very good cop, and they kind of come together to kind of help each other out and stuff like that. And Jared Leto is also in it. And so what the movie does well is, you got Denzel, and Denzel is going to be Denzel, and he's charming, he's funny, he's tough when he needs to be tough. And then on top of that, but what it doesn't do well is it's funny. There's a lot of predictability in it, up until the point where it's completely unpredictable. And at that point, it's unpredictable because you're going, why would anyone do this? Doesn't make sense. You know what I mean? Okay, yeah. So it's unpredictable for a dumb reason. It's like, why would anybody do this?
Right. Yeah. It's more like that doesn't make any sense.
Exactly. I didn't predict that because no one would. No one should ever have to, exactly. So, yeah, it's on HBO Max. Also, for some fucking strange reason, this film was playing really poorly on HBO Max. I ended up testing out some other shows and stuff on HBO Max, and they were playing fine. So I'm like, it's just this film. It was frame stuttering every so often. I didn't know why. The audio never stopped. The audio was completely running always, on cue. But the video for some reason was stuttering. And I was like, I don't know what this is. I started looking it up. I couldn't find anywhere. Of course, you go to HBO Max and they tell you the same shit. Do this, reboot this, try to, I was like, by the time I came to look for you guys, I had already done all this. You know what I mean? So I don't know what it was.
Maybe it was shot that way.
I hope not. No, because I was able to rewind.
I know.
I was able to rewind, and it was So, but I don't know. That was something that really frustrated me in watching it as well. And it left a little bad taste in my mouth too. I was just like,
you know what I mean? That's a shame.
Yeah. So I don't know if they're gonna fix it or whatever. Frankly, I don't care. But the last movie I saw is a title that came, with great suggestion or recommendation, I should say, from a Mr. David Santos. That is, of course, the movie 2015's The Martian.
Yes! I forgot about that. I was like, wondering, what could I recommend it? Like,
recommend? I don't know. It was more like twisting my arm at some point. I mean, I'm like, damn.
Because I was like, oh man, I like this movie. You should watch it, but I'm telling you more in that I want to know what your thoughts. Not, it's, I don't want to oversell it. It's not the best movie of all time. It's just good, but and you haven't seen it, and it just felt like the type of movie that you would have already seen a couple times already. So that's why it struck me as odd. Me missing a movie, that's normal. That's casual. But you missing something like that, it's just like, what?
I told you.
Haven't seen,
Yeah, I told you at the time. I was like, it's on my list. It's not like it wasn't something to watch, but it's sci-fi. It's Mars. It's the type of thing that my wife doesn't really care for, right? But now that we have our little arrangement, it's like it doesn't matter what you care for because guess what's going on. You know what I mean? So,
the little arrangement for those that
the arrangement,
have forgotten.
Yeah, the arrangement is basically my wife and I we take turns picking a film, and when it's my turn or when it's her turn, the rules are simple. It doesn't matter what it is. The other party has no say into what it is. It's going to go on. You know what I mean? And we're going to watch it. And it could be something that has already been seen. It doesn't matter. It's just one of those things, but we go back and forth. We have added some addendums here and there. Like, for instance, if one of us puts on Hamilton, it doesn't count towards that choice.
There has to be some amendments, obviously,
It has some amendments here and there.
That was the second amendment of this.
Exactly.
Hamilton doesn't count.
Whoever puts it on, it doesn't matter if you turn or not. It doesn't count.
Neither does Moana.
Yeah. Although that's not technically there, but if she mentions it, I wouldn't say no. But anyway, that's the other. So this time I was like, well, it's my turn. And by the way, I watched the extended cut, which is like 2 hours and 35 minutes. I was like, damn.
I didn't know there was an extended cut. Maybe that's the one I watched. I don't know. I know that I finished the listening to the book, to the audiobook, and I just immediately jumped into whatever version was there. That's the one I saw. I straight up saw.
Yeah. So. Yeah. It's got quite the. I mean, David already spoke about what the film is. But in essence, the main plot is there's a Mars mission. People are collecting samples and stuff like that. Something happens. They have to leave in an emergency, and they leave behind someone. And that person just assumes they're not going to make it. That person, of course, is played by Matt Damon. You have a really, really big cast, a really good cast on top of that. You have Jeff Daniels, Michael Pena, Sean Bean, Kate Mara, Sebastian Stan. If you don't know who that is, that's the Winter Soldier. Jessica Chastain, who I absolutely love. I'm not going to lie, that's a huge crush on Jessica Chastain. Kristen Wiig from she played the Cheetah recently. You have I'm going to mess up his name. I've seen him all the time. Chiwetel Ejiofor. He's been a lot of stuff. He was in 12 Years a Slave. Benedict Wong. He was in oh God, what's the Marvel movie with the magic?
The man, something man.
Something man. Okay. It is Doctor Strange, guys. He was in Doctor Strange.
There you go. I was close.
He was the Asian actor in Doctor Strange. Donald Glover is in this, guys. Charlie Gambino.
That's right.
Yeah. It It has a massive cast, and it is a good film. I really did enjoy it.
Yay!
Yeah, I did. It was absolutely. Absolutely.
Also,
this is Ridley Scott too, which when it comes to sci-fi, first off,
that was the thing. That was the thing that shocked me. It's this Ridley Scott movie that he hasn't watched. Like, why?
Yeah. Well, this is actually like Ridley Scott loves that really weird sci-fi. For instance, Raised by Wolves is a Ridley Scott joint. He's a produced joint. So he loves crazy sci. Obviously, he did the Alien series and all that. So I was like, but this is sci-fi, but much more believable sci-fi. And I was just like, oh, this is actually really, really interesting, really fascinating. I love Matt. Honestly, it lived or died with the character of Mark, which is played by Matt Damon. If it was anybody else who was not as humorous or as, captivating to see in this particular scenario, it wouldn't have worked. You know what I mean? I love the fact that he's a botanist, and that's a thing. It's a common joke in the film, and it's like, yeah, whatever. This botanist just grew Martian potatoes. You know what I mean? I was like, that's genius, and it's really good. I myself can recommend if anybody hasn't seen it, and it's enjoyable. It's enjoyable. I really dig the sci-fi. Again, is one of those things where I don't know if it's true. I don't know if that's like a lot of little things I do. I was like, but it's so believable. It's like
not high. It's not high. It's sci-fi, but it's not hi-fi. It's not hi-fi. It's no high sci-fi. It's not lasers and crazy. It's like near future stuff. Like talking about possibly. Like, we got Elon Musk already, predicting or working towards
I'm sure.
whatever. And we're going to be in Mars by in the next 50 years or something like that.
Yeah.
So this will be like, you see these missions could start in the next 5 years. It's that level of near or near future, and also it's a great survival movie. I've always told you that those movies that are like this single person against everything that's happening, everything that happens to him or her, depending on the movie, it's interesting, because you don't have to break your head into like, oh, who was this person? Oh, where is this organization? No, it's just a simple thing. It's taking place in one location. Well, in this case, two planets, but Earth and Mars. But spoilers. But it's still fascinating and
not only that. The characters also, all of them, all across the board. Even Jeff Daniels back on Earth as the guy who's doing the space, the NASA and all that. It has really the mission director. And then you have, of course, what's his name, Sean Bean, who is the crew director, and he's the one who it's just, there's a lot going on, and everyone is bringing their A game. You know what I mean? And when you see it like that, man, there's nothing to not like about it. And then on top of the special effects, make it work. It's like, yes, this looks good. So yeah, man. I appreciate the recommendation because again, it was on my list, but yes, the push to move it up the list. You know what I mean?
It's like, what are you doing? Why have you seen? At this point, it's not even, oh, you're missing, one of the best movies or anything like that. No, it was just like, this movie has your name all over it. Why are you not just cashing it out already? Like, what are you waiting for?
And then the funny thing, my wife, who wasn't into watching it, did also enjoy it. She also got into it. So that speaks volumes right there. You know what I mean? So yeah. So anyway, that's all I've been doing.
bad guys.
Does it sound like I say that? Bad guys?
It always sounds like you said bad
It does
guys.
okay.
So at this point, it's like a beam already. It's like, okay, we're the evil people from GG.
Fine. Well, you heard him, guys. We are bad, but we are also back.
We're bad. We're bad. You know it. Chamona. Okay, go.
Chamon then.
Okay, that's it.
We're off the rails in our second segment here. No, real quick. There's no trailer of the week for the record, guys, but I did want to. I'm continuing the games radar because I think this is a good thing to showcase games that are coming out, and there is a good one that is out today, February 5th. It is the Nioh Collection that's coming to PlayStation 5. Yes, out now.
Nioh 1 and 2. Those
Nioh
games
1
are
and
very
2.
all right.
Yes. So if you have not tried it, you're interested in it, it is available for PlayStation 5. The collection is available for PlayStation 5. Fun fact, Nioh 2 is also coming to PC today as well. But the Nioh Collection apparently is only on PlayStation 5. Now, interesting thing about Nioh Collection, it is at the new price of gaming, apparently. So it is a $69.99 title, guys. Just FYI.
Boo! But it has 2 games on it, so
it does have 2 games. There's no mention.
$30 for each. That's not bad.
That's not bad. $35 each. That's not bad.
That's right. I can't do
math. You're fine.
I'm a gamer. I don't do math. Sorry.
I don't need to do that. So yeah, I didn't see if any of the DLC was coming in with it. That I didn't know. I was looking at the listing on PlayStation Store, so I was a little bit taken aback when I didn't see it. But let me see here. New games. Let me bring it up. Nioh Collection. Here it is.
No, I would think that it should include everything. I would think.
Well, we would hope.
They're not going to resell you the DLC, are they? They'll probably resell you the DLC.
Maybe.
Resale. Yeah.
One thing I do want to point out, there is a little asterisk. Gameplay is at excuse me. Let me go back up here so I can say it right. The battle of the yokai threat at a targeted 120 frames per second with ultra fast load times. And then of course there's an asterisk. Gameplay at 120 frames per second requires a compatible monitor that can support this feature.
Well, of course.
A little caveat there, guys. That make sure
buy a new TV.
Yeah. Wait a minute, my TV's not showing 120. It may not be able to, guys.
Yeah. Also, it's all right. Once you hit 60, you're at the sweet spot.
Yeah, you're fine.
I'm not saying that you cannot notice 120 hertz. I'm just saying you can't notice 120 hertz. You're gonna want to justify it in your mind that you do because you already spent like $2,000 on a new TV, but in reality, it's like it's all relative.
Yeah, it's all relative, guys. So again, our games radar, Mouthful's game radar, game of the week, the Nioh Collection, available today on PlayStation 5. So let's get into the useless news, guys. Useless news that you can use.
All right.
First piece I want to bring up.
Your first piece better be the piece that I expect it to be. If not, I'm gonna take it from you.
Oh,
but go ahead.
Why don't you just say it?
No. Because now I'm curious. B, I don't have the news ready.
Okay.
I can take this opportunity.
I had 2 that I think were the most major, but I'm going to start with the one. Well, I'm going to start with this one because I kind of wanted to talk about this one. The Mass Effect Remaster.
Yes, that is the one.
That is one.
What else was it gonna be this week? It's like, come on, bro. I mean, let's talk big here. Mass Effect, the legendary edition, is kind of an exciting announcement to me. I know always say EA join and all that, but Mass Effect was back when BioWare meant something. They used to make good games, and yeah, I'm
I have
looking
to
forward
agree,
to
sir. I have to agree. A remastered version of Mass Effect Trilogy is coming to console and PC in 2021. The title Mass Effect Legendary Edition. The bundle will include all three mainline Mass Effect games. That's Mass Effect 2, Mass Effect 3. The collection does not include Mass Effect Andromeda. In addition to the single
Mass Effect
player,
what? What are
Andromeda.
you talking about? Wasn't drone? I don't know. I don't know what you're talking. Is that a DLC?
It
Because I
was
heard there was a DLC that wasn't coming, but
It was a
is that the
bad
DLC?
year, is what that was. Bad year
Oh, you're
for.
talking about that fan fiction thing that they threw together, cash grab thing.
Yeah, yeah. I think that's what it was. A cash grab.
I actually, to be fair, in all seriousness, I've heard it from every. I haven't played Andromeda, nor do I care to visit it or whatnot, but I have heard from a lot of sources that that game is not bad. That game came out bad. That game came out horrible, you know. But then now, I mean, now when you look at things like Cyberpunk, I guess like we,
No,
everything can be
the
forgiven,
bar has
right?
been set. Yeah, yeah.
Yes, 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 yeah. But that said, yeah, that game was kind of horrible. Damn. Now that I think about it, yeah, that's horrible. Like, fucking Cyberpunk is the new Mass Effect Andromeda when you think about it. It's
Yeah.
like the disappointment, the how bad it came out, the how
Yep.
memeable it is. Like, holy shit. Okay,
Yep.
no, damn, CD
That's yeah,
Projekt
that's the
just.
disappointment, my friend. That's exactly why I'm like, I don't even
Wow.
know if I'm going to go back.
Okay, okay.
Uh,
Go back to Mass Effect. Back to Mass
that's the
Effect.
Mass
Okay,
Effect. Yes. Okay,
it
we're
doesn't
going
it
back
doesn't
here.
include Andromeda. That's fine.
It
That
doesn't.
game is
Yeah.
that game is apparently it's a good game when you take away all the bugs and the crap. You know.
Fair enough. In addition to the single player, the DLC for all three games, Mass Effect Legendary Edition, will include all promo weapons, armors, and packs, all remastered and optimized for 4K Ultra HD, BioWare said on their website. Mass Effect Legendary Edition will be available on spring of 2021 for PlayStation 4, Windows PC, and Xbox One, with, of course, forward compatibility and targeted enhancements on the Xbox Series X and PlayStation 5. BioWare also confirmed Saturday that a new Mass Effect is in development and revealed early artwork for the game. So,
Really?
yeah. Yes.
I did not know that part.
That was also a part of it, yeah.
That's
sir,
that's juicy. Yes, sir.
Are you? I feel
Mhm.
I really did love Mass Effect. First off,
Yes.
and I'm glad that I completed it the way I completed it and everything. I enjoyed every moment of that series. Never got to play one, but now of course one is going to be included. Apparently, it is going to be updated to be similar to Mass Effect 2 and 3 when it comes to
The
gameplay.
gameplay.
Yeah,
Yes.
so
Which is that's exciting because that means that is a remastering or a remaking, basically.
Yeah,
A
yeah,
remaking work
yeah.
on it.
Mhm.
Yeah.
So, what do you think, sir? Are you do you think you can go back down that road again?
I think that's the question, isn't it? Because
It's a long road.
it is a very long road. I played Mass Effect. Like, I don't tend to replay a lot of games, but Mass Effect 2, I feel it was one of those games, a long RPG that I put many hours. I've replayed that many times, and it's not like I even consider like, oh my god, this was the best RPG of all time. It was just really good, and it was sci-fi, which is which I love. Uh, I love the way that game sets its beginning, its opening. It's like one of the best openings in gaming. Um, in general. And the music and everything was so good. And yes, I know Mass Effect 3 kind of like botched it a little bit, but I also feel like even that is a little exaggerated because it's not like it got bad. I mean, it didn't have the greatest endings, or you realize that a lot of your decisions at the end like didn't matter that much in the grand scheme of things. But even after patching it, it just extended kind of like the non-endings that it had, and that's fine. I mean, it's not bad. At the end, it told a really good story. I don't remember much about the original Mass Effect other than long ass elevator rides, you know, because of the load times, and I guess that will be eliminated now. I
That's
guess
what
they'll
I'm
be using
hearing. Yeah,
transporters now.
yeah, that's what I'm hearing.
I am excited. I am looking forward to it. I think it's a shame that they couldn't, like, they didn't go the extra mile of really reworking out. Like, they reworked enough, but like when you think of it, it's still the Unreal Engine 3, which
Hmm.
is dated by now. Uh, and as I feel like, aside from the 4K looks and some adjustments here and there, when you look at it, it's still gonna feel like, okay, I'm playing an older game. I mean, it looks better and all that, but it's not next gen. It's not going to be next gen because they already said that they're working with the limitations of the Unreal 3 engine. So it'll still feel like a very beautiful data game. That said, uh, the just the idea of possibly getting into the story, again, and maybe reforming my choices, it's exciting. It's exciting to me,
Hmm.
and I think this is gonna be one where it's still an EA title, and it's still a game um, that I need to see how well they actually work. They actually rework it before I jump. But I am excited about the announcement
Good, good
and the
stuff.
possibility of playing again. Yeah, yeah,
Me too.
yeah. I don't want to see. It doesn't look. They didn't say anything about it having like multiplayer BS, because the multiplayer on
No,
it,
that ain't the multiplayer.
it
Yeah.
was. Yeah, yeah. You know what? The funny thing is, like, it was not. It's not that it was a terrible multiplayer. At least from what I played, it was just that it felt like, man, you should have used the resources into, like, really bringing it home on everything, on every other aspect in Mass Effect 3. Uh, and that was a shame. But overall, it wasn't, like, you could tell that they're doing the multiplayer because that's the cash grab. That is the DLC. That's when they started implementing the loot boxes. Because it did
Yeah.
have loot boxes. Let's not forget. Um, I am going to piggyback of that to mention a little detail, and then I'll go into my actual piece of news. But you mentioned Mass Effect, the Legendary Edition, was gonna have all the pieces of DLC. Turns out that that collection is kind of incomplete. There is one particular piece of DLC that it won't have, sadly, and that is the original Mass Effect's Pinnacle Station DLC. So Mass Effect Legendary Edition won't include the Pinnacle Station DLC from Mass Effect 1 for a very interesting reason, according to Game Informer. Mass Effect 1's Pinnacle Station DLC gave players a chance to work on their combat skills uh, aboard an Alliance space station. And it only cost 400 Microsoft points. Jesus Christ, Microsoft points. When it launched in 2000, in 2009. Inflation be damned, says Games Radar. It offered over a dozen combat scenarios, and was much loved by players, but it won't be on the 40 plus DLC pack included in the Mass Effect Legendary Edition. The reason for its absence is somewhat surprising. The Pinnacle Station source code was lost years ago, resulting in PS3 players not having access to the DLC. Uh, that source code is still a problem in 2021, according to BioWare. Uh, Trying to recover the source code from the Demurge Studios think it was that's the company where they outsourced the creation of this particular DLC.
Mhm.
Uh, the content's original developer was, quote, an emotional roller coaster, end quote, according to the game director Mac Walters. BioWare reached out through multiple channels in the hopes of finding anyone connected to the DLC. But when the dev team finally got in touch with the Murge Studios, they were let down again. The source code sent by uh, the Murge Studio was almost entirely corrupted data that had crucial links.
Wow.
And then they go to say, what Mark Walter says, it will basically take us another 6 months just to do this with most of the team we've got. Uh, I wish we could do it honestly, just because this is meant to be everything that the team created, brought together, all the single player content, and so leaving it on the cutting floor was heartbreaking. End quote. So they were, they basically answering the question of, well, can you just remake it? Remake that section.
Not that simple.
I remember that section. That section was, well, I believe it was the very first DLC that came out for Mass Effect One, and it's not well received. It didn't, like it didn't. I mean,
So it's
it's cool that
no
it's
heart
part of
loss.
it,
Yeah.
but it's not hard loss. Yeah, you're not. It's not. It doesn't have any story value. Like he said, it just, hey, you could go to this place and you could have. First of all, it costs 400 Microsoft Space Bucks, which was the equivalent of what, $5. Uh, and you go to this space station to set up some combat scenarios. So, again, not to say it didn't have its fans or whatnot, but you're not losing like the level of DLC that you had in Mass Effect 2,
Oh
where
yeah.
some of the DLC was just freaking
Legendary.
phenomenal.
Yeah.
Just so
Absolutely.
good. So yeah, it's but it still feels incomplete. I know. I know why it's heartbreaking for them. So uh, my piece of news here. This is hot off the presses. Actually, this is happening as of when it was published 30 minutes ago at 10:30.
Mm.
Endwalker, Final Fantasy 14 Online's next expansion is coming fall 2021 to PS5 and PS4.
Boom.
Um, man, I unfortunately grabbed this from the PlayStation blog, and the PlayStation blog, not that I have anything against it, but when they give the news piece, it just they try to make it personal. It's like, hey there, this is so and I just want to give you the great news that Final Fantasy 14. I mean, that's not what he's saying, but you know what I'm saying. It's
That's what it sounds like when you're reading it.
yeah. I'd rather I'd rather not read that part. So Gary have another one queued up. So that's my piece of news. Final
All
Fantasy.
right. Final
There's
Fantasy.
a yeah. The Final Fantasy 14 is getting yet another expansion and Walker, and it comes to PS5 and PS4 and Final Fantasy 14 and Walker. So let's see if I can find something real quick though. Okay, here we go. IGN to the rescue. Uh, Final Fantasy 14 and Walker's expansion announced for fall 2021. Okay. Square Enix has announced that Final Fantasy 14 next expansion will be released in the fall of 2021. This expansion pack will feature 2 new jobs, one healer and one melee DPS, and will bring players to the moon. That's not how it
Okay.
says it here. Uh, the new healer job is the Sage. There is not required class to play this new job that features a floating weapon called the Nowlith. Sure, okay. But players must have at least one character up to level 70. The second new job will be revealed during Final Fantasy XIV's Digital Fan Festival 2021 that runs from May 14 to the 15th. of this year. Endwalker and Patch 6.0 will conclude the tale of Hydaelyn and Zodiark, and we'll bring. I wish Chaos was here. He will make
He
sense
would
of
know,
this.
yeah. Mm-hmm.
And we'll bring a close to the story that began in A Realm Reborn, beginning in Patch 6.1. A brand new story will begin in the world of Final Fantasy XIV. That's exciting. Endwalker will have no, sorry, we'll also see a new level cap raised to 90 and will feature, quote, massive new areas, end quote, just waiting to be explored, including the imperial capital of Garlemand, Thavnir, and of course, who could forget the famous city of Rasathan. I'm not sure if I'm pronouncing any of those. Sue me, guys. I don't know. I don't
Sue
know.
me.
Yeah. Of the famous city of Rasagul. Yes, there you go. Nailed it. Uh, I've I wish I was more into MMOs because man, Final Fantasy 14 on Realm Reborn is a really well made MMO. Like it really feels like you are playing a Final Fantasy 14 game with all this, with the story, the stories in place and the, the special moments, and then the only thing that it has different is that it's there's a bunch of people running around acting like idiots and trying to say you shit, and that's awesome. I wish I had the time to sink into this
To
one.
sing? I got
Yeah,
you.
yeah. Final Fantasy 14 was very all right.
I am glad that I do not care for that series. That particular MMO series.
Wow.
But hey,
I'm
to
sorry,
each their
WoW
own.
player.
Yeah, to each their own. My next piece, guys, I think it's official, sir. I think Hell has officially frozen over.
Breaking news.
Yeah.
Hell has frozen over.
PlayStation will officially, for the first time, publish a game on Xbox consoles.
Yeah. That's not happening. What's it? They're bringing Uncharted. Oh my God, it's Uncharted, isn't it? Oh, shit.
Baby steps, sir. Baby steps.
Oh, okay.
MLB The Show 21 will arrive on
there you go.
PlayStation 4, PlayStation 5, Xbox One, and Xbox Series X and S consoles this April 20th, 2021. This would mark the first Sony first-party title to be on Xbox's console.
From Sony, from PlayStation Studios, mind you. It's right there on the box.
Studios. That's right. Yeah. That's right. This is Sony San Diego.
Yeah.
And not only that, it's interesting. The reason I bring this up, one, I have a small interest, very, very minimal, because I ended up getting a free MLB The Show game, and I played it for a while, and I kind of enjoyed it, for what it was.
Yeah.
Would I spend money on it? Probably not. But this particular one, MLB The Show, has Jackie Robinson on the cover. And I think that's freaking awesome, dude. Legendary Jackie Robinson, the man who changed the game. He was the first black baseball player, and not only on top of that, he was very good. And everybody knows, of course, his number 42, and so he's going to be on the cover, and I think that's really cool. And I think it's cool that this is also coming to Xbox. And there's some, when I was reading some articles and some opinions, there's a little bit of a belief that this was MLB basically saying, you know what, we can, there's more money to be made here, so either, we share the license, elsewhere, or you do, you know what I mean? And probably force Sony hand to and it only makes sense because it's just more money to be made, You know what I mean?
Yeah, I mean the more money part obviously makes sense, but I would have thought that maybe Sony saw that as an opportunity, because it's not that they'll be
no,
looking like,
I
they don't want to share maybe freaking Eloy, for example, but baseball is kind of universal, it's
The funny thing is, I remember there was this interview with the main creator of MLB, and he kind of went over the numbers, and the numbers are solid every year. This is a top 10 PlayStation title every year. I mean, just without fail. And it has its diehard fans. The issue is those diehard fans are the same diehard fans. They don't really get new people.
No,
it's just
this is not a console seller. This is This is
some will argue with that. I think Jose Maldonado on the group would argue with that because I think the reason why he has a PlayStation is because of the MLB The Show, because he's an Xbox guy. So actually,
now he doesn't have to.
Well, now he doesn't have to. Yeah. Although, what else are you going to play? But anyway, I'm just saying. No, what I'm trying to say is it's interesting, and knowing that fact, I think that it just, it came to a point where it's like, yeah, man, this is how we expand. You know what I mean? Anything obviously sold on Xbox, 30% is still going to go back to Sony. It just makes sense. And first off, I'm happy that, because there is no other baseball game on Xbox.
Mm-hmm. Right.
None. You know what I mean? So, and this is very good. I mean, this is extremely. This is, again, top of the line. Really, really look at the reviews. They're always glowing. You know what I mean? And so it's awesome that they're going to be able to play this. So I'm actually really happy. And as I mentioned, it's a baby step, but I think,
Oh no! This is where it lands. This is where it lands. There's no crossovers here. I don't think there's gonna be Sony first party. This doesn't mean that in any way whatsoever.
I'm not saying it does. I'm simply stating that it is. It's the doors opening, and you start seeing a significant amount of money coming in. At some point you're gonna go, well, I mean, it's still our game. You know what I mean? It's not like we're selling the IP or anything like that. So I don't know.
Yeah, you're still making money. You will think, exactly. It's what I've always said. It's like, fuck exclusivity. If you can make more money selling it everywhere, why don't go that route? But
no, again, I don't
history
think
has taught us better already.
True, and I don't think, like I said, the likes of God of War, Halo, or anything are gonna go that route.
No,
but you have other,
not unless you want to revolt.
But I mean, I wouldn't revolt. I mean, like, whatever. I'm still going to play it on PlayStation.
I know of people that will.
I know that there are plenty.
It's gonna be. It's gonna be. I mean, they're gonna go. They will march. They will march to the freaking Capitol. If
my God.
Yes.
I know what you're saying, and to those people, I'm just going to say, guys, no one's taking away your PlayStation. It's like get over it. You know what I mean? And again, I don't think, like I said, it's going to be any of the major. You still have to have a reason to sell your console, obviously.
Yeah.
But prior stuff, stuff that can maybe come out. Imagine a Resistance.
Resistance! Oh my God!
That'd be awesome. A Resistance remaster, and it comes to both consoles. That would be amazing.
That would be great.
They've already made the money off of Resistance. Anything they were going to make off of that.
Yeah.
And now this is a remaster, so people may jump on a PlayStation 5 that obviously will have better, everything. And why not throw it to Xbox side too? Say, hey, by the way, this is something we had back in the day. You're interested? You can. We're not saying get rid of your Xbox, but what? Make space on your thing for a PlayStation, and come enjoy some of these too. It's just, it only makes sense, bro. Anyway,
it's
pie in the sky.
Happening though.
Pie in the sky. I'm just saying that this. I think this, after a year, and they start seeing some significant changes in revenue. Who knows? It knows baby steps.
Yeah.
So
You'll first see Minecraft on PlayStation before you see. Oh wait.
cool. Oh wait.
But don't expect Overwatch 2
Mm-hmm.
or Diablo 4 to launch this year. All right. So I'm sorry to break it to you, man. I'm sorry because I know you were very looking forward both of these titles, especially Overwatch 2.
Not even a little.
Activision Blizzard, your favorite company, uh, isn't planning to launch either Overwatch 2 or Diablo 4 on 2021. The publisher told its shareholders in an earnings call following its full fiscal year results 2020. Activision Blizzard noted to investors that its financial plans for the coming year do not include the launch of either game. The publisher went on to specify that it's also not including the upcoming Diablo Immortals. Oh, that's that mobile thing that they were doing.
Mm-hmm.
I'm surprised it's not even including that um, in its projection for the year. However, it also said the mobile game, was progressing well, and it is anticipated that it will launch next. Hold on. It also that the mobile game was progressing well and anticipated it will launch this year. Wait a minute, they're saying it will or will not. Uh, the publisher went on to specify that also it was not including the upcoming title Diablo Immortals in its projection for the year. Okay, so maybe it's not including it in the projections on the projection, but for 2021, but it is releasing on 2021 for
Mm-hmm.
later. Who cares?
Yeah.
This news comes just a week ahead of BlizzCon, the annual convention where major Blizzard games announcements for the coming year are typically made. This year, the convention is taking place online, and at least some new information on Overwatch 2 has already been teased for the event. Also, in the call, CEO Bobby Kotick revealed several free-to-play Warcraft mobile games are in advanced development currently. Oh, Jesus. Wow.
Wow.
Both Overwatch 2 and Diablo 4 were announced over a year ago at BlizzCon 2019, but few details about either games have been shared since then. Hashtag Free Hong Kong. I am. This is basically you know, EA say, EA will be like, oh, I mean, people will be like, oh, EA is bad, and then Activision Blizzard comes in and like, hold on, guys, let's just remember who the main villains of the gaming world really are. Let's show them. Let's bring it up. We're not gonna bring the titles that you were expecting, this year. But we have some mobile games there, some free-to-play mobile games, which you really already know what free-to-play Activision games really mean on the grand scheme of things. But that's okay. I'm sure they will have a Call of Duty for you this year.
Yeah, without fail, guys. Without fail. My next piece, guys. Sony has shipped 4.5 million PlayStation 5 units worldwide in 2020, as revealed by information published alongside the company's latest earnings report. The numbers highlight Sony's current ability to mass produce a console, which has been extremely difficult to buy since its launch in November. Demand for the PlayStation 4 dropped dramatically year on year, with a 1.4 million units shipped in between October and December quarter, a 77% decrease from the previous year. Obviously, there's a new console coming. Sony actually managed to sell fewer PlayStation 4s in the holiday quarter than it did in the time between July and September. Sony gaming business overall performed much better on the year. Revenue increased 40%. Operating profit was up by 50%. This is mainly due to higher game sales, PlayStation Plus subscriptions, and better margins for PlayStation 4. Sony did note, however, the expenses related to the PlayStation 5 launch offset some of its profit gains, and also confirmed that the PlayStation 5 hardware itself is being sold for less than its cost to make. A loss was incurred due to strategic price points for the PlayStation 5 hardware that were set lower than the manufacturing costs. There's not much to read in PlayStation 5 sales numbers until people who want to buy can actually are actually able to do so. But at the very least, the console's launch seems to be broadly comparable in size to the PlayStation 4. The PlayStation 4 also shipped 4.5 million units in its launch quarter. Something interesting there that I think is funny, and I guess they're just avoiding it. This is me, by the way, talking now. This is not on the article. It just feels like they're avoiding it. It's extremely difficult to find these consoles, and yet they're right there on eBay. You know what I mean? There's plenty of them there, and no one's buying. Why? I wonder why that may be. It's a problem that no one is addressing, but that's just me. I'm just frustrated that's even an issue. And with the fact that, manufacturing may even slow down further, I think there's even reports that, even less will become available in the next few months here because of manufacturing, and particularly the AMD, which is apparently needed in many, many other places other than this. So it's
car
just
manufacturing, for example.
Yeah. It just boggles me that it's just not something they're even discussing. Like, something has to be done about it. I don't know who can do it. Something has to be done about that, because those consoles that are being sold for $800, $1,000, those should have just gone for the normal $500 to someone who wants it. You know what I mean? But
yeah, I don't think
we're in a capitalist nation. I guess that's just what it is.
I was just saying, I don't know what they could do about it, because it's obviously if this was a case where if this was the case where they were stealing like shipments of PlayStation, something like that, that'll be something else. But if they buy it legitimately for Sony, they can do whatever they want, and that's just like you said. It's a capital. The demand is there, and there are people that are willing to pay those prices, unfortunately, and that's why it is what it is. But yeah, it is. It's kind of sad to see that situation. It's ongoing, and the fact that it doesn't look like they have very lofty projections, but
they do.
When you
17 by the end of this year.
Yeah, but they might fall short, not because of of demand waning, but because of shortages of
not being able to have any
ships.
Yep.
Exactly. That's well, I'm gonna keep it with Activision because I'm bitter. Okay. Activision is being accused of stealing a Call of Duty character. Actually, that Kotaku news title is kind of misleading, because they're not stealing a Call of Duty character; they're stealing something else to make it into a Call of Duty character. But I'll explain. The creator of a character called Kate Janus, developed as part of a film pitch, is taking Activision, Infinity Ward, and Major League Gaming to court, accusing them of going behind his back and stealing the character for use in a Call of Duty Modern Warfare. As Torrance Freak reports, Clayton Haugen claims that he created the character years ago and went so far as to work with streamer Alex Sidra to bring Janus to life. Alex Sidra, a famous streamer and model in the gaming community, or cosplayer, whatever. Haugen's suits allege that when trying to draw attention to his work by publishing it on social media, Activision and some partners became aware of the character and actively worked to get her into the game, changing her name to Mara and going as far as to and this is directly from their filing, by the way. A, use Huggins Kate Janus photographs as guide for how to frame their own imaging and photographs. B, hire the same talent, that talent being Alex Hedger, by the way. Hire the same talent who has posed for Haugen's Kate Janus photograph. C, ask the talent to ask Haugen for the same clothing and gear that she wore when he created the Kate Janus photographs. D, hire the same makeup professional who prepared the talent for Haugen's Kate Janus photographs. E, directed her to do the talent's makeup exactly as she has for Haugen's Kate Janus photograph. F, directed her style, directed her to style her talent's hair exactly as she had for Haugen's Kate Janus photograph, even using the same hairpiece extension. And then G, photograph and three-dimensionally scan the talent using Haugen's Kate Janus photograph as a guide. Wow. Haugen's suit is also full of photographs comparing the original Photoshop with Activision's promotional material for Call of Duty's featuring Mara. What elevates this from a "they stole my art" claim to a copyright infringement case asking for damages is that Haugen said that he registered copyright for his story in 2012 to 2013 and his photographs in 2020. He is looking to recover all monetary remedies from the defendant's infringements, including all the profits attributable to their infringement, unquote, along with recouping his costs and legal fees. If you were to go to, well, in this case, this article is from Kotaku, and you see the side by side photographs, you'll notice that this is more than a case of where it's the same actor or same actors or the same model. It's more than that. It's like, oh shit, they pretty much copied this character to make her into. Imagine if Paramount or whoever owns Star Trek now took the likeness of Boba Fett,
Wait, whoever owns Star Trek, and then you said Boba Fett.
No.
Okay. Oh, okay. I see where you're going. Okay, I see where you're going.
If they took the of Boba Fett from obviously from Disney, and implanted it into the Star Trek, and they just call their version of Boba Fett. They call him Gene Cuisine or something like that.
Mando.
Yes, flippity flop. Lean testicles. I don't know. And you understand the situation. This is very similar to. Yeah, I don't know, man. There's a case here.
Yeah, sounds like there is. Yeah, for sure.
When you look at it, it's like, ooh, yeah, no, this is not. The fact that they use the same talent is that they dressed her almost exactly. So yeah,
wow. That's insane. Well, my next piece, guys, you may not know this, and but some people will be interested in this. With its new season less than a day old, this is as of February 2nd, already has some fresh new players. The Battle Royale, developed by Respawn, is heading to Nintendo Switch on March 9th. The developer announced the port's release date with a short post on the game website. The Nintendo Switch version Apex Legends will be co-developed by Respawn and Panic Button. While this may be the smallest platform Apex has ever been released on, that doesn't mean that this version will be missing anything from its larger console or PC counterparts. Nintendo Switch version will include all the features of the full-size version of Apex, including cross-platform play. To help make up for the slightly different console size and technical limitations of the platform, the Switch version of Apex Legends will feature a few unique optimizations to bring it in line with the other versions. Apex Legends Season 8 kicked off this past Tuesday, which means that the Switch version of the game will launch right in the middle of the season. All the contents of Season 8 will be included in the Switch version of launch. Switch players will get 30 levels of the current Battle Pass upgrades for free to make up for the late start.
Oh, okay. So there you go, Apex player. If you suddenly have the knack to switch to the Nintendo version, thank you. There is one offer to you right now. That's good. That's good to hear. Yeah. Apex Legend. Who would have thought?
More Apex is mo better. Mo better.
Mo better. Yeah. More Apex is less Fortnite. My next piece. Activision has nothing to do with his next piece. But Google Stadia is closing its internal studio, and Jade Raymond is leaving. Google has announced that it's closing its internal Stadia game development studios and shifting its focus to further development of Stadia streaming platform and technology instead. Assassin's Creed co-creator Jade Raymond, who joined Google in 2019 to head up its development operations, is leaving the company as a result of the change. The quote says, "Given our focus on building on the proven technology of Stadia, as well as deepening our business partnership, we've decided that we will not be investing further in bringing exclusive content from our internal development team, SG&E, beyond any near-term planned games," Stadia boss Phil Harrison said in a blog post. The quote continues, "Over the coming months, most of the SG&E team will be moving on to new roles. We're committed to working with this talented team to find new roles and support them," end quote. The Stadia platform itself will continue to operate as it has, with both a free basic service and a subscription-based Stadia Pro offering. But the focus going forward will be on helping external developers and publishers take advantage of the technology, which Harrison said, quote, is the best path to building Stadia into a long-term sustainable business that helps grow the industry, end quote. Interesting choice of words there. Sustainable business. The quote continues, "We are committed to the future of cloud gaming and will continue to do our part to drive the industry forward," end quote. The quote continues. Our goal remains focused on creating the best possible platform for gamers and technology for our partners, bringing these experiences to life for people everywhere, end quote. According to Kotaku, which broke the news of the closure before it was officially announced, the closure affected roughly 150 developers. Google did not reveal details about which, if any, in development projects will be halted in the shutdown. So, all right. So let's see how the Stadia Doom clock is looking, and let's see. It looks like it is. Okay. It is 11:15 on the Stadia Doom clock. Yes, I think we're about to reach midnight, and thus the end of all Stadia as we know it.
How long do you give it, sir? How long before it's in the Google graveyard?
Yeah, I will be surprised. You know what? I'm gonna be generous. I'm gonna say 2022, first quarter 2022, Google Stadia completely closes.
Damn, that's exactly what I was thinking too. Shit. Yeah, first quarter.
Right. It feels
Yeah, it
right.
feels right. Yeah. It's coming up into the fiscal year, and it's like, yep, they got to make choices, and that's most likely they're going to let this year ride out.
Mm-hmm.
Obviously, if suddenly takes off, then maybe not. But if you don't have a reason to go to that platform,
There you
you know
go.
what I mean?
There
Because
you go.
you have no
You just
first party anything. Yeah.
exactly the whole point of, well, Stadia. Imagine games that are tailor made for Stadia using, you know, the computed power of Google's, server grade, yada yada yada. Like that whole spiel of like Stadia will have games that will not be made possible on consoles. It's all bullshit. I mean, I'm paraphrasing, but I want to say they were very close to that in the sense of the language. It's like, look, Stadia has the power with, with the backing of the Google technology, all working together. The power of the clouds, TM. Um, we're gonna deliver on experiences that you can't get on consoles. And now the tune has changed to, oh, by the way, we're gonna deliver the experience that you can already get on consoles.
Yeah.
Because you know,
Exactly. Oh, and by the way, you don't need to upgrade, or you don't have to shut everything else off in your house so that it's not eating into the signal. And yeah,
yeah, it's not to
this
say
was
that. Oh, sorry. Go ahead.
no, this was an interesting idea. I just don't know. We don't have the. We said it before. First off, we said this before. I think we've had at least two topics
Hmm.
on Google Stadia, hot topics, and we said it then. It's like this is destined to fail now. Does that mean in 10 years we don't, if we have an infrastructure that's up and running and they can handle it? Sure, maybe. But in the end,
Doesn't
because
even
the
matter.
reality is this, until we are online, like until this nation is online at all times without needing to be plugged in, without needing for, whatever, everyone's just in. Until that's the case, that it's never going to be the same, because the reality is, if you want to play a game, especially if it's a single player game, what I'm saying, you don't want to have to be online. You don't have to worry about the internet going. We're in Florida, man. That shit goes out often. You know what I mean? Because you have random shit that just happens. You know what I mean? And boom, there goes your gaming experience, because now you can't even. It's just, that's not what you want. And until that's fixed, and we are years away from that, this was doomed to fail if it was going to be such a big push. And Stadia was a big push to that. You know what I mean? It's like Xbox is doing something similar for a cloud gaming, but it's not a huge push. It's just, hey, this is an option. It's small enough. It's like fucking,
Stadia was their whole business plan.
yeah, it was an
Was
entire
that?
business thing. Exactly.
Yeah.
And it was like, and I feel, who I really feel bad for is the people working there. It's like, this was the plan, and here goes Google lining up for their, what they have, like, this is, hold on. I had to bring up the Google graveyard. They have 224 things that are in the Google graveyard. This is lining up to be 225, guys, for the record.
Yeah.
And
Oh, it's Google. They'll kill a couple things beforehand because they're always killing.
oh
But
yeah.
no, but it's yeah, it's a fact. I don't think we're that far away from realizing cloud gaming. The thing is that you have to. The only argument that you're left right now is, well, you don't have to. This is easier than a console. You don't even have to have the console. You can just, if you like what you see on the computer, you can just press, click here and you start playing. Okay, fine, but then you're pushing a ridiculously tall fence for the entry, uh, and you're making it, you're making it to where you still have to pay full price for, for a game. You're not giving any security that game you get to keep. At least if I buy the game on console. Well, I guess not so much now with digital, but if I buy a digital game from Sony, I mean, they're in a very good position where I feel like the PlayStation it'll be there for a while. I don't have to worry about my the game suddenly disappearing because the service they're quitting.
Mm-hmm.
Google, of course, Google is massive, but they already have a track record of, well, this is not working. Let's just straight out kill it. Let's not give it and any other chance. And I feel like, I'm sorry, but the leadership that they put there, like, I don't have any confidence in it. Like Phil Harrison, I mean, bless his heart, but when Phil Harrison was at the head of or in the PlayStation, when PlayStation 3 era,
Mm-hmm.
she wasn't going that great. Some dumbass decisions were being made. When he went to Xbox, the same thing. Some dumbass decisions were made. You get him now on Google Stadia, and you're looking at like it, dumbass decisions again. It's like, no, don't charge full price for the game when I can get the same version. If I'm gonna pay or less actually, because I can pay less for a version that I get to keep, that I get to own, that I get to play whenever whenever I want on whether on consoles or PC.
Yeah.
It's kind of dumb. It's and also don't get me started. Like I was a big like, I was excited. You remember me? I was
Yeah.
excited about the opportunity of, holy shit, if Google's going after this, I mean, it's Google. Full crying out. We have, say what you will about the stuff that they had killed, but they also have some amazing technology that we see to this day that we use every day. It's Google. Problem is that it's black and white. They either make it or they break it.
Mm-hmm.
And in this case, it just seems like they're gonna just break it with Stadia
They're
because
gonna break
it's not doing any well. I haven't heard of anybody on the group saying I'm playing the Stadia version of whatever.
it. Yeah.
As a matter of fact, I would love to hear numbers of Stadia players on anything.
Yeah. Well, you know what? I think I'm gonna put up a poll. I'm gonna put up a poll just to follow up on this.
Yeah,
For
who's
next
playing
week.
on Stadia?
Yeah.
Yeah,
Just to see. Just out of
who give
curiosity.
a $10 gift card or something?
Yeah, sure, yeah. To get some honesty, yeah. Well, I don't know. Maybe we'll get nothing. I don't know, but yeah, we'll take a look at that. That'd be interesting.
Suddenly, everybody's a Stadia
Everybody
fanboy.
fucking playing Stadia, yeah. All right, guys. I have like two small pieces left here. I'm just gonna quickly roll through them.
Yeah.
Ubisoft has delayed its upcoming remake of Prince of Persia: The Sands of Times indefinitely. The publisher, announced the delay on Twitter, saying they need extra time to improve the final product. We haven't even seen anything of it, so frankly, I have no idea what was going on there. But so yeah, that's been delayed with no date. And the last piece I have here is more of a piece that a little conversation we had before. Capcom has officially revealed the height of Lady Dimitrescu, because this is evidently something important for people to know.
You brought it up. You put it as a news piece, so now you got to share it.
Well, it's all over the place, dude. I don't know if you've been seeing the memes, but it's all over the place. So she is officially 9'6" tall, and of course, everyone has been following suit, starting with Xbox, saying, showing off their Xbox Series X with Lady Dimitrescu next to it for scale. So, of course, the Xbox Series X comes in at 11.9 inches. The Xbox Series X refrigerator comes in at 5 feet 8 inches, and of course, Dimitrescu at at a 9 to 9, and of course, Remedy, makers of Control, also released an image. The huge eyeball creature, which is called the Former, is 79.12 meters tall, and then of course has a bunch of other stuff next to it with a tiny little Lady Dimitrescu next to it. It just kept going on and on. Ninja Theory jumped in saying that Senua is now officially 9 feet tall. So it goes on and on, sir. It goes on and on. It's just
How
I
tall
call
is
this
the PlayStation 5
I
next to her?
mean, PlayStation 5 may actually take her. That shit is too fucking big, bro.
I know.
Oh
It's
man.
too fucking big. You said it right.
Yeah.
My last pieces, if you will. Netflix wants to make a GameStop stock movie. Uh, actually, that's it.
Okay.
You can just get it from there.
Yeah.
I mean, what else? What else is there to say about that? Of
Not
course,
shocked at all. Not shocked at all.
no.
You know what I mean?
Of course not. No. Okay, fine. Let's see. Let's see what's in here. Uh, Featuring Noah Centineo. This is not a joke. That's what it says here.
No
Uh,
sentiment.
Nef- yeah, I don't know who Noah Centineo is. You can look it up if you want. Netflix is in talk to make a film based on the Wall Street GameStop stock kerfuffle, according to a report by Deadline. Mark Mark Bowl, the writer of Detroit and Triple Frontier, is in negotiations to write the unnamed film. Noah Centineo, the actor behind the teen heartthrob role in many Netflix movies, like To All the Boys I Loved Before, will play a major role. No other casting roles have been announced. Note that this project is different from the news that MGM acquired the rights to a not yet written book by Ben Mesrich about the GameStop stock. These are two separate films, of course, and then he goes into a report of what the stock price is by the time of that writing, whatever. So yeah, I guess we're getting multiple takes on on GameStop. So one of them is gonna be Armageddon, and the other one's gonna be the Deep Impact version of the GameStop stocks things. And final news piece is not really a news piece by itself, but I just wanted to to share this. So, oh boy, Sega is rolling out an updated version of its crime drama Judgment for the new consoles, as well as Google Stadia. Oh, there you go! Look at that, Stadia. The publishing giant is bringing the Yakuza spin-off to PS5, Xbox Series X and S, and Google Stadia on April 23rd. This new and improved edition of the Yakuza spin-off will come with improved visuals. Oh boy. A smooth 60 frames per second and faster load times on top of all the DLC released for Judgment so far. Unfortunately, the PS5 version will not be a free upgrade to existing owners on the PS4 because fuck you, early adopters. Uh, Judgment was made by the Ryoga Gotoku studio, and you guys already know the rest about it being a Yakuza spin-off. Anyway, what I wanted to point out is that they released the trailer, which is basically the original trailer,
The original, yeah.
shot by shot, but with the updated graphics and basically showcasing what this new game, what this new version is gonna look like. I had the opportunity to look at that trailer side by side, and I don't
Me
know,
too.
man. I don't know,
I
man.
don't know. Yeah, I don't know
They
either.
say
It's a trailer,
they
so
say
we can't make the final, whatever. But yeah,
we can't make the final judgment. That's what you're saying?
yeah, I didn't want to say it. It was a little too on the nose, but yeah, no, I did watch it. Honestly, the first and foremost, the characters, not just the main character, the characters, they're a little less bronze, if you will, less copper tone.
Yeah, a little bit detail, I would say, even.
Well, no, I'm just talking about the lighting of said
the
characters.
lighting, yeah.
Characters were a little bit less tanned.
Some weird filters there that they're using.
Yeah.
Yeah.
There's a couple of motion sequences where I was like, okay, that does look shinier on the original. So I'm not sure. Again, it's a little trailer, so we don't know. But based on that, I wasn't impressed.
I was not impressed. I was
Yeah.
not impressed. I was actually kind of concerned because I'm like, well, of course it's running at 60 now. You kind of like downscaled everything. It looks like a Ubisoft downscale. That's what it looks like. It's like what is happening?
It's running at 60. Okay, well let's drop the resolution. We can get up to 60.
Exactly, exactly, and let's charge for it also on top of that. Let's charge for it. It's like, oh man, come on. It's just. It's
I mean,
scummy,
again, it is just a trailer. I don't know, bro. I actually laughed. I was like, "What in the world? What are we doing here?"
Yeah. Especially when you put that because I was very excited to try it. That was another game that I immediately wanted to see how does it look on on PlayStation 5? How does it run? And then you put it and you start playing and it just plays exactly like it plays on the PS4. Like no difference whatsoever. You're like, oh, I was really looking forward to this game being, suddenly, uncapped frame rate and being good because I'm still playing it and I still want to beat it because I was enjoying the story. But man, oh man, yeah.
Unfortunately, yes. All right. Well, that brings us to the end of the news. Stay tuned, and we'll be right back with our hot topic. And guys, we're back. It is now time for our hot topic of the week. Hot topic again, guys, is Missing in Action. So I'm going to go through a few games that. Well, first off, I'm going to mention the game itself. See if anybody remembers said game. I'm pretty sure every game on this list is going to be remembered. But at the same time, what is it we think? Well, where do we think it is currently, and would it ever see the light of day? Is it doomed to go the way of Stadia?
Will I ever get to play? Yeah, it's not soon enough because it hasn't happened yet, but it will. According to the Doom Clock, the Stadia Doom Clock. But
For real.
Would I ever get to play? Skull and Crossbones.
Oh yes, that's on the list as well. Very good. Skull and Bones is the name. Skull and Bones. First revealed at 2017's E3. We are now almost 4 years away from 3.5 years. We'll go with 3.5. 3.5 years away. The reveal. Now, generally, the time frame for a game to be made is about 3 years, roughly. There has been some updates that have been mentioning because originally people were like, "Oh, so you actually are just the boat," and then Ubisoft went back and said, "Well, let's just update this a little bit." I think they were looking at sort of a Sea of Thieves thing. I think that kind of just threw a whole monkey wrench into what they were trying to do. And well, what do you think, sir? I think that one's might as well be Driftwood at this point.
Skull and Bones was delayed. Evidently, the ruminations, the hearsay, was that game was just not coming along very good. The game was pretty much based on the small gameplay element that a lot of Assassin's Creed started having when they right after Assassin's Creed 4, right? The forgot what it was, the subtitle of it, but basically the one where you have Black Flag. Thank you. Uh, the 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 idea of having like naval fights,
Naval
and
warfare.
that kind of stuff, naval warfare, and uh, that was exciting to me because I remember enjoying those sections, and even Assassin's Creed Odyssey had it, and Valhalla to a much lesser actually no, Valhalla only uses transportation. I don't think it hasn't presented me with a naval warfare. Maybe that's for the less for the best. Anyway,
That's DLC.
the yeah, oh, shit. The idea, like, it caught my interest because you see this ridiculous warships
Detailed,
with
detailed warships. I remember from what I recall. Yeah,
very detailed. But what do you call those things? They have the mast, and because they will have like
ships.
70 masts, and like it was something like insane, but it looks so cool and it looks so detailed. And something I like, I like at least from the early gameplay they show, was that it seemed to have some cool water physics,
Mm-hmm.
which would have been very important in a game where you were all the time in the freaking water. But I don't know what it was. I think maybe they realized that as cool as it looks and all that, that just serves better as a mini section of a fuller game rather than a game on its own. I don't know how that they would have expanded on it in a way that was interesting. I mean, I know that there are certain games that do this already, right? Like, you don't have like you have World of Tanks, for
Yeah, yeah.
example.
You have
Yeah,
also
that's
one that's on the.
incredibly famous, like an incredible player base, uh,
There's one I think
of
it was called
people
Age
playing.
of Booty, or something like that, or something about. I know it sounds funny, but it's for real. This is not a joke. It's
From
something
the
called.
makers of How Party comes Age of Booty.
Yeah, I think it's Age of Booty. Anyway, the point is that it's yeah, it's a lot of just being on your ship and all that, but you don't actually control the crew or anything like that. And again, it's also a very simple game in the sense that it's nowhere near the detail that this game had. Just we're
Right.
talking a much more animated game, but yeah, I can agree, and I think a lot of people. I personally would have loved to see what the original intent was, because I'd have been okay with it. You know what I mean? I was like, oh, this would be cool. I mean, I don't know if you be storming the ship or you would control or sort of real time strategy control your team to storm the ship, that's next to you or something like that. So it
It
would have
was
been interesting.
very. I mean, from the looks of it, if they were trying to replicate the gameplay of Black Flag, it was fun, but it was very one dimensional because you were controlling the ship and then you were positioning it in a way that your cannons will be able to do the best,
Yeah.
type of damage. And sometimes you'll be able to, depending on your vector, you might be able to ram the other ships and stuff like
Hmm.
that. Maybe upgrade your ships from that. Like, yeah, it sounds cool and all, but like the production value seems like they were hoping that this will be like a $60 game on a probably like a $15 gameplay. If they were to
Yeah.
leave it as it was in
Hmm.
in Black Flag and stuff like that, which was very basic, the things that you did on it. So I don't
Yeah.
know. I would have liked to see it because again, it
I
looked
still
cool.
think uh I still think that thing is dead in the water. but
Yeah.
who knows? Who knows? It'll probably come back. I think Ubisoft is. Nah, I don't know.
By the way, we're
You
not
know, it's
we're
just-
not cheating here. Neither one of us is looking to see because we could probably look at and, you guys could probably Google the answer and be like, oh yeah, that game they announced like ages ago that game was dead in the water and
oh yeah,
get it, dead in
I
the
have
water.
no, I have no clue. That I don't
We're
know.
not we're not looking at that because we're lazy and also hey, at least I am, and B, it'll be a lot less fun,
It's
so
true.
we'd
True that.
rather speculate.
That said, I'm a little bit, I'm a little interested in why the obvious elephant in the room was not the first one you brought up.
Oh no, I got
Considering,
what I got mine. I got mine. I'm saving that for last, or for the moment you decide to spring it, and I'll be okay.
yeah, I think I
I'm
might be
I'm just
springing it
not
right
gonna
now.
say it. I'm just not gonna say it. I'm not
I'm
gonna
going to
say it.
say I think you've invested in this one, if I'm not mistaken. I don't know if you ever got anything back, but Star Citizen, sir. I don't know if that's the one you had.
You were closer. You were close, but that
Okay.
was not the one. But yes,
Okay.
so we already know what that Star Citizen is a scam. So we already know where this one is headed. I mean, obviously, you don't get to see Star Citizen ever, but you are welcome to buy more ships if you want.
just to support the team and,
Just
and their livelihood.
this is
Yeah.
they discover. You got to give them credit. They discovered a new game, game industry method of making money, which
Yeah.
is what about you never release the game. You
So
never
funny.
really. You don't even have to worry about the logistics of what will happen if once the game is out. Once it's in the hands of everybody, supporting the game. Like, no, you don't have to worry about that. What if the reviews are bad? You don't even have to worry about reviews because the game never released.
Yep.
It's fucking genius when you think
It
about
is.
it. It's like, let's make
It's
money.
amazing it has not been done sooner.
Like freaking Activision and EA are like they're like red faced and like fuming that they didn't come up with the idea that it took this retired game developer. I respect the game developer. I will say because I do respect his prior work. I have to admit I was a big fan of the Wing Commander and the other one. The name is escaping me right now, but games that came out. None of the Wing Commander movie, no,
Thank
like
God. Yeah.
that. But which he also directed, mind you, or yeah, I think he directed. Anyway, yes, it's Star Citizen right now is I mean it is playable. I get it, guys. It is playable, and the sections that you get to play look beautiful. They might not be like super optimized or run very well, but when you manage to get it to play, it does looks fine. It was impressive back in the day. Now with the advancements on gaming and the graphics that I've seen, it's like it's starting to show a little bit of its age,
Mhm.
which is kind of sad to say. But I think this is gonna be like the next excuse that they're gonna use that. Well, we want to bring our game, our ambitious vision to the next generation. So we're promising that if you fund us to $10 million, we're gonna give ray tracing support in 2072.
2077. To put this in perspective, the game was announced through a successful Kickstarter. A successful is very understating it. Campaign
successful because it's still going.
Yeah, I know. In 2012, guys, we are about a year away from 10 years in the making. That is the elephant in the room that I was referring to. And yes, he's absolutely right. That is a scam. Avoid it.
This game is a complete. And it's a shame too because I believe in that vision. I wanted it to succeed. I wanted it to see something realized. I was like, I'm with you. If we don't have to worry about publishers, that's how naive I was. If we don't have to worry about publishers at all, then we will have a better gaming industry.
And yet,
fuck me, right? Because
publishers are there for a reason.
There is
for a reason.
Turns out, right?
Yeah.
Who would have thought?
Yeah.
Gee, it's like the old me looking at the young me and being like, "Bitch, put your money back in your pocket, dumbass." You don't know. You don't even know what you're saying. How like fucking like wide-eyed and naive and dumbass I had to be to believe that. Oh yeah, let's just not have a publisher. That'll
Mhm.
work,
Yeah.
Fuck the
No
publisher.
one to tell us what to do.
Yeah,
You
the
know, we can
developers
take our
get the money
time.
directly, and
Yeah.
that way we better support it, and you get even more shafted because now you have
8
no
years
idea
later.
when this game is gonna come out. Ridiculous promises, some horrendous mismanagement, and what you get in return is a broken beta, some cool uh, technology demos, and that's it. That's all you. That's what you pay for. That's all
Yeah.
you pay for, and it
That's another
still
one
gets more
that,
people to spend money on it.
yeah. Yeah, I was going to say, that's another one that we can chalk up to never coming out.
Yeah, fucking
Not while they're
genius.
making money. That's for sure.
Fucking genius. Yeah, exactly.
Yeah. So I have a few more here. Do you want to throw in one into the mix?
Okay. You're gonna.
I can throw one if you ain't got one. I have a few.
I mean, there is one that I've been wondering, like what has been going on with it. Although I have heard some movement, and that game is System Shock 3.
Oh.
So System Shock 3 uh, was officially being developed in 2015. They show they revealed they show a gameplay trailer. Gameplay trailer did not look hot at all. It was like, ooh. So what you're telling me is that one of the most, I mean, the the grandfather of BioShock and all the amazing, all those amazing, titles, System Shock. You're giving the third iteration to like a amateur development team maybe that we haven't heard of, and the best they could do is show us something that looks like it could run on a PS2.
Yeah, it wasn't very
uh
good.
it
It was
was
not very
not.
good.
Yeah, and that's concerning, and as of now, like, I don't know what the status of that game is, and it's a shame because I mean,
The last
I
thing,
would have rather work. I would. Sorry. One more thing. I would have preferred a System Shock remake. That would have been
the
cool.
original. Yeah, that would be
Yeah,
pretty cool.
that would be
Actually,
a
I'd
lot
kind
of
of be
fun.
down with that. The only thing I heard last is that some people or most people, I don't know, people were let go, or maybe the original team broke up, and then Tencent got involved, and that's kind of the last thing I heard about it.
Tencent gets involved and everything.
Yeah, yeah. I
Picks
was
up the
gonna say,
pieces.
at some point, yeah, they always get involved. Actually, I would jump on that bandwagon and say, yeah, I would. I've never played System Shock 1 or 2, but I know of them and I know of details of them, and even though I'm, I guess, technically spoiled, I would love to see that resurrected and brought back, in a nice, RE2 like remake would be really nice.
Yeah. Last thing I heard, that game was. I mean, there was another company there was a company that was working at. Here we go. Other Side Entertainment is the name of the company, but the original team that was working on it was let go, and right now
Oh,
that game is kind of in limbo.
so they are
So
okay,
yeah.
but nothing about nothing about Tencent. Okay,
I mean, I don't
yeah,
know if that maybe the Tencent thing happened, but it doesn't. It looks like they have had a little bit of a problematic history in developing
makes
that
sense.
game.
I'm gonna put that one on the not likely.
Not bloody
Not like
likely.
not dead in the water, but not likely. We'll leave that one a not likely. The next one is another semi elephant in the room that should have came up probably earlier. You know what I mean? But I'll throw it out here, and that is, of course, the long in gestation Beyond Good and Evil 2. That was originally shown off or announced or officially announced in E3 Ubisoft's E3 2017 presentation. So again, another 3 years out. We've not heard anything other than the fact that the main guy left the company. So not left. The main guy, not main guy of the company, the main guy behind the project is no longer. He just left. So that normally doesn't spell good things. Although I think when he left, he mentioned something on the lines that leaving this and this in good hands. Actually, I guess I can bring up the other one because it's kind of connected.
Related.
Another game that he was heading up, also a little title called Wild. I don't know if you remember Wild. Yes, this was first show. Yeah, you have
that sounds familiar. That definitely sounds familiar. Wild.
It was like almost like you were able to, you were like a shaman or something like that. You were able to control animals, and anyway, it was originally shown off back in August of 2014. Now we're at 6 years ago.
Oh, wow. Yeah.
That shit is, and of course he mentioned in the same statement that he's leaving these two titles in good hands. I'm going to call it and say, yeah, I don't think these things are going to happen.
Yeah, those are dead. Both of them. Those are
even
dead.
Beyond Good and Evil. Yes.
Yeah.
Beyond Good and Evil to me was always strange because I enjoyed the first game. Never saw the need for a second one. Never understood the fervor behind, hey, we need a sequel to the, it has this fan base or is just like dying for a sequel. It's like, why?
I mean, the fervor for people, because I will argue, I'm sorry, but I know what I'm about to say is going to be sacrilegious, but I will argue that Last of Us did not need a Last of Us 2.
No, it
and
didn't.
Yet we had it, and it was great. So,
yeah, but I can understand someone request. I personally, and you personally, we both agree, even when we heard about it, that it didn't need a sequel. But if someone was requesting a sequel, I can understand that. I can tell them, no, they don't need it. But I can see why you would want it. It was a good game. Why not have a sequel to a good game? Beyond Good and Evil was a good, or let me rephrase that. Last of Us 2 was an excellent game, as far as I'm concerned, and probably the person who wanted the sequel. Yeah. So I can see why they would want another one. Beyond Good and Evil, the original, was a good game. It didn't do anything to me that lit the world on fire. You know what I mean? It's like, this wasn't like a reinvention of anything. And why did we suddenly need a sequel to this? And then when they show us a sequel, I'm going, this doesn't even look like the original. I'm not even sure where they're going with here. So this was, I agree.
I mean, it might have not called you, but it might have called a lot of people. I mean, obviously, it has its fan base, and Ubisoft heard it, I guess, loud enough to where they were like, okay, we probably want to start working on this. But I feel like I saw, like at one point we were thinking that what's happening with The Last Guardian. Like, I didn't ask for it. A lot of people didn't ask for it, but there was also a lot of other people that were like, yes. What?
The Last Guardian was an original thing. No one was asking for it.
Well, in the sense that they were asked, yes, but you might say, yes, it is an original thing, but in a sense, I don't know. To me, that what's the name? Yeah, Team Ico games are kind of like spiritual successors of each other, even though it's not the same world, the same universe, or anything like that. They seem like somehow connected in some sort of way, to the point where a lot of people were like really, really hoping or expecting The Last Guardian just because of how great their memories were of Ico and Shadow of the Colossus.
Yeah,
to me.
No, I got you. I mean, it was their follow up to Shadow of the Colossus.
Yeah.
Shadow of the Colossus was PlayStation 2, and obviously, The Last Guardian didn't come out until PlayStation 4. Yeah. But it was shown off and spoke about back in PlayStation 3 era. So it was just this
the
long
longest
in
time.
gestation. Yeah. I can see wanting the follow up. Yeah, I can definitely see that.
Yeah.
But at the same time, I'm like, yeah, that would be not beyond good and Beyond Good and Evil. The first one is nowhere near Shadow of the Colossus. I'm just saying, there's two different tiers completely. So while I understand people were interested, I just hey, and I want to say, like it or not, guys, whether you want to hear it, it's not.
Oh,
I'm sorry.
You might be just committing some sort of like war crimes right there by that statement.
Could be. It could be.
I'll back you up, if only because you're my bro.
Do you ever play Good and Evil of the first one?
No, I honestly, that's a game that the sheer fervor of the fans caught me by surprise because I knew nothing of it. When it
was nothing to know, honestly, bro. That's what I'm trying to say. It was a good game. I'm not saying it was a good game. It really was well made and everything. It just wasn't. It was like I don't know, like
a Prince of Persia, which also might be on this list.
Well, I mean, they already mentioned it's so definitely. Yeah.
I mean, it should be on this list.
Well, we had a news piece that said it got delayed indefinitely, the remake. So
there you go. Okay, so that's why it's not on the list.
Yeah. I have
putting it on the list and then taking it away
temporarily.
My next one. Well, I mean, I had a few that I knew, but then I realized, oh, wait a minute, that's right, that game is never coming out already, and it has been. And it's a note. It's not a surprise. It's not that it's missing in action with their hope. It's that there is no hope of them coming back. Which I don't know if you want to include those or if I just skip, because I do have.
Yeah. If you have other ones that are more likely, then yeah.
Yeah. I'll say I'll use. Where the hell, bro, is Half-Life 3?
Oh my god. You got it already, but they called it Alex.
Oh no, don't do this.
I'm sorry to be the one to burst the bubble, sir, but that's where your 3 came in, my friend. And it was, and to its credit, it is I mean, I haven't played it, but to its credit, it was one of the game of the years. You know what I mean? So,
Alex, no, Alex was a great game, and by all the accolades that he got, there couldn't be any doubt. Also, I believe there's they have or they will release a version that doesn't need the VR. Maybe, I don't know. That's what I heard. I don't know. It might be
that'd be nice because I'm not fucking getting VR. Fuck all that.
But this is. I mean, I know at this point it is a joke. It's not even a funny meme. It's just a bad joke already. The fact that Half-Life 3, but it needed to be mentioned because
it's the elephant. Yeah,
the Half-Life.
We have several elephants for the record.
Yes. We have. We do have. Half-Life 1 was a transformative game. It reshaped a lot of the ways that especially first person shooters were being created. Whether first person shooters tended to be just some run and gun affairs, Half-Life showed that you could have an intricate story with cinematic aspects on it on a first person shooter. And that paved the way to a bunch of story heavy story first person shooters that we know and love today. And Half-Life 2, it just went, it took that concept and when you already thought that they have already did it amazingly, they took that concept and they stretched it out in a whole new way. Now this game is huge. It's huge in scope. and always you not in the sense of open worldness, but in the sense of of how long the game is, and it introduces physics not seen in a game in the nature that this was showing. Introduces like high end graphics, like the highest end graphics that you could have seen by the standards of that era. It's the only known 11 out of 10 game rated. And our publisher literally made that their score. And it took that the again the story level the storytelling to the next level. So our minds could only race like what will be the next thing that Half-Life 3 gives us, especially in a day and age where games have evolved, their storytelling, their AI, their world building, and all that. Like, what else is it's gonna do? And we had a sneak peek of Portal, and we saw like, oh man, the Portal technology is kind of amazing back in the day. Now it's kind of like, oh, it's not impressive anymore. And I think Portal just decided to do his thing, and it looks like those worlds were gonna collide in some way because there were some references, in Half Life about Portal and vice versa, and it just got nowhere.
Yeah.
So what could Half Life 3 be? Well, the answer is nothing. They can't make it into nothing because everything in gaming that hasn't already been done, Gabe Newell can't figure it out, and also he doesn't have the motivation to do so anymore because that's not his moneymaker. His
No.
moneymaker right now is the Steam store. So
Yeah. And
that's the reason why
realistically,
we're never gonna see Half-Life 3.
yeah, and creating and releasing a game, even a game like that, it's never going, like if they were to announce Half-Life 3, it will light the world on fire, and
Mm,
it will
yeah.
never live up to the hype. No
And they
matter what
know
you
it. That's why they
Yeah,
can't do it.
yeah, yeah.
That's
That's
why
why
they
they
can't
rather
do it.
not do it. Yeah, that's why they rather not. That's why they did Half-Life Alex to fill in that gap.
Yeah, yeah.
Yeah,
Half-Life, because everybody thought, well, the next frontier will have to be VR, right? Well, yes, okay, you can do VR, but oh, wait a minute, this experience cannot be as long as a Half-Life 2 or anything like that because people are just gonna like vomit themselves to death.
yeah.
Let's do something a little bit more subdued. I mean, I think what they did on Half-Life Alex was amazing. I gotta give them credit, it's just it's still within the confines of VR rather than being freed on VR. So it didn't feel like really like
Monumentous.
the
Yeah.
next. Yeah,
Mhm.
yeah. Also, VR is
Uh,
dead.
There's a little title that I'm curious. I think it sits in the, although there has been a recent update from the publisher, but I think it still sits on the, Dead on Arrival. And that is, of course, Dead Island 2, sir, which has been in the hands of three different developers. Originally announced, I remember seeing that. It wasn't a gameplay trailer, it was a cinematic trailer back in June 2014. So,
Wow.
yeah. So as recent as December, their publisher mentioned, no, it's still in the works. It's still in the works.
It's still
I don't know,
happening.
bro. I don't know. Dead Island.
Yeah. I mean, what is Dead Island? What is Dead Island now in a world with oh, what's the name of that game? That is, it's almost that. Oh, what the fuck is the name of that game now? It's got
What, Left for Dead?
no. It's kind of like what Dead Island is, or what
State
Dead
of
Island
Decay.
should have been. The other
Oh, Dying
state,
Light.
Dying Light. Thank
Yeah.
you. That's the one. On in a world with Dying Light, like Dying Light, basically gives us because that game is still being supported.
Mhm.
Uh, it gives us what I feel like Dead Island was trying to shoot for originally, with all the, with its melancholic trailer and stuff like that.
That trailer
Uh,
is still amazing to
no, that
date.
trailer is still
Yes,
one
to
of the
date.
top, if not the best trailer of all time.
Mhm.
Without a doubt, I still give it I'd still give it to them. Best trailer bar none. You made me think about that trailer. Now you
Yeah,
fucked me up.
it's really harsh. Yeah,
Fucked me up.
and
Guys.
their
If you
trailer
haven't
for Dead
seen,
Island 2 was nowhere near.
no,
It was good. It was humorous, but it was nowhere near
no, yeah,
as
it was
yeah.
unnecessary. No, it was no. The best guys, best trailer in gaming. Period. Dead Island original trailer. Watch that
Yeah.
trailer if you haven't to this day. Is there has nothing has been done, to that caliber. I realized that Dead Island, the game itself, was probably shit, but that trailer is monumental, it's legendary, it's godlike.
Hmm.
Best game,
For sure.
best trailer. But yeah, man. Yeah, Dead Island 2, Dead Island 3, sure. I don't. I mean,
Dead Island
that
2.
that will probably have what?
Dead Island 2. You said 3. I'm like, no, it's 2, 2.
It's two. It's two. Okay, there you go. Dead Island 2. That's probably, I can see that happening, even though it has been, because
It's been 6 years, and they have Dying Light. By the way, Dying Light is also, if I'm not mistaken, the same people.
it's the same people.
So
Yeah, it's
yeah,
Silver
Techland.
Techland. Yeah,
Yeah.
Techland. That's what they call it.
So
Yeah,
I don't know if they need to. I
and
think
that
they realize.
and this Dying Light 2, it's, I mean, it was announced already, a while back. So
Mhm.
yeah, a lot of people is waiting for that. Yeah, I mean, you might be right. I just want to be positive in one of these games.
I just want to say that we're actually going to get one of these.
That island
Well,
seems like that island
I have
seems like it could. Yeah.
yeah, I have a few that I think are definitely going to happen. But it's still missing in action because it's
Okay.
been so long. And one I think is near and dear to you. I don't know if you have anything else listed there, but I can throw these
Oh,
two.
wow, of a list of it. Probably. Like I said, I have a bunch that I just know that they are dead in the water, even if they haven't said anything on them. It's no, actually they have said on all of this pretty much, or they
Mhm.
have been released, or they have actually been like, oh no, actually, turns out this came out. It's just people saw it and liked it and now forgotten.
So here's
Shenmue
two
3
that
says hi.
here's two that I'm sure are coming, but at the same time, so much time has passed that one has to go. Why haven't we seen anything? you know, the first one, of course, is something I think is near and dear to your heart, and that
Of
is
course.
Bayonetta 3.
Of course.
This was
That was the one.
yeah, 2017 is when it was originally announced, and even around that time is when the Switch had their versions of Bayonetta 2 and all that.
Mhm.
And here we are, still waiting for Bayonetta 3, and what the fuck is going on? In essence,
So
I'm
you
sure
were
it's happening, but at the same time, you go, but where is it? Yeah.
you were playing Bayonetta. Whatever happened to that?
I think I mentioned this, that it wasn't as what I liked. So it's still installed. It's not uninstalled, and that's if you know me well enough, you know that that's a good sign. It's still actually part of the
it
hard
still,
drive.
it still has a pulse. Yes.
Yeah, yeah. But at the same time, I was like, I think I need to just restart it over and really get a hang of it.
You probably
But
should. It's
yeah,
also it. I mean, the game is meaty, but in your game time, it's not that much of a long game where you could probably
no, I know it's
take
not. I know
you could
I've
take a
already
week
looked it up.
to beat it. Yeah, yeah.
I've already
You can
looked it
do
up.
this, man. You can prepare yourself for, like, Bayonetta 3. And who
I
knows?
just
You might like it enough to where you will pick the second one on Switch. I have to tell you, it plays really well on the Switch. frame rate wise and gameplay wise, it actually runs.
I gotta say, sir, I don't think I honestly don't think I like the character.
Well, fuck you.
Yeah, I mean, hey, I hear you. That's not something anybody wants to hear.
But, you're wrong, and
I'm just saying
your likes are wrong. That's what I'm saying.
Fair enough. Even though
I know I'm in the wrong for saying that, but hey, Bayonetta is an amazing character, and you just have to don't take it so serious and enjoy it for what it is, which is sexy, crazy, like top of craziness bitch with shotguns on her heels. Just what is not to like? I'm not hearing the argument here. Like, what is not to like about Bayonetta? She has guns in her heels.
I mean, sure. But yeah, like I said, still installed. But Bayonetta 3, MIA. Again, I have no doubts that that's still going to happen. It's a long time. 2017, guys. It's a long time to go without hearing, not seeing nothing, not even a, hey, here is the,
there were some, there were some talk, actually very recent, where Hideki Kamiya, the director, the guy working on for Platinum Games, he's like, guys, don't ask me about Bayonetta 3. It's safe to expect news this year. He said, actually, he replies in an interview. This was in an interview with VGC. Kamiya was asked about providing an update on Bayonetta 3 in 2021, to which he replied, "It's not really our position to say, but it's January. We've got to have something. We've got to have something come out, right? I guess it's safe to expect something that will come out. There's still a lot of the year left, is what I'm saying." So he's saying
around the bush.
Read exactly, yeah. Read between the lines. However, he's saying there will be an announcement sometime later this year. It's like, hey, it's safe to say.
Well, I hope along with Bayonetta 3, another announcement can come from Nintendo, and that is, of course, another game mentioned and announced back in 2017, and that is, of course, Metroid Prime 4.
Yeah.
Where the hell are you, Metroid Prime 4? I need you here, front and center, please. Come to the customer service desk. Thank you.
Metroid Prime 4, being developed by Retro Studios.
Yeah,
and obviously being published by Nintendo. It's another one, big title that I've been looking forward. And honestly, this is the year, right? It has to be this year where we hear something. Because okay, what else? What is the next big Switch thing that's coming out? Right? You already announced. We already seen the. Oh, you already mentioned the next. The other cell that looks like the cell that you just released not too long ago. And another Mario. I guess it's could be in the works. Yeah, and it'll be exciting because I love Odyssey. So sure, I'll take another Mario of that magnitude. Shit, just give me Odyssey 2. If you don't want to make it of that, something entirely different, just give me Odyssey 2. I'll be happy with that. Pero this is the year for Metroid Prime to hear something about Metroid Prime 4, so that people don't start getting concerned about. Well, is it really happening?
I agree. It's definitely happening. I mean, I think that there's no doubt about it, but I don't know if it just got put on a back burner and just said, hey, guys, we're going to make it soon. And then 2 years pass, and then they go, or I guess we should start making it now, right, guys?
He's like,
And now
oh
here
shit.
we are.
We actually announced it. We forgot.
Oh shit, that's right. We did say we were gonna make that. Damn it.
Damn it.
All right. What are you working on? No, put that shit away. Put that shit away. I need you to start Metroid Prime. You follow him.
I was working on Pikmin 4.
No. No one cares about Pikmin. I need you to go.
Wow.
Yeah. So that's probably what happened. That's
yeah. Oh no, that's exactly what happened. That's
I look forward. Yeah, this is verbatim. We had a bug in the office. Yeah. I look forward to hear more information on that. I'm pretty sure that's something that they will talk about probably pretty soon. We're still at the beginning of the year, so But there is one last title that I have that's a little indie title, got shown off back in 2017. Again, the year of fucking vaporware at this point. It was shown off at Microsoft's conference 2017. And it was a little title called The Last Night. I remember us all kind of being blown away by what The Last Night. And you look it up. Look up The Last Night game.
Oh, that name definitely sounds familiar.
The moment you see it, it will immediately come back to mind. It's a pixel art game, but it is also 3D-ish in many ways. The way it's shown off was spectacular. And here we are, 2021. I haven't heard anything about it.
Wow. It looks like somebody took pixel art and just like photorealisticized it.
Yeah, pretty much.
Pretty much. The lighting, the graphic, everything. It looks amazing.
It does. Yeah. And I'm like frustrated because here we are, 2021. You would have going on 4 years.
You would have bought an Xbox for this one.
Xbox One S. I may have. You know what I mean? I may have. But
by the way, are you still looking for one? Should I still be keeping an eye on it if I see?
I can't do it at the moment. I am still in the market for one, but I can't do it at the moment. At the moment, I have a lot of things rolling around at the moment. And no offense to Xbox, not trying to insult anything, but right now there really isn't anything other than the medium. There really isn't anything over there that I want to play that I can't already play over here. So, until there is The Last Night being one of them, until there is, I can hold off a little bit. So, but yeah, man,
this was fuck you, Xbox owners.
Whatever. I'm sure even Xbox owners are going, damn it, man. There was a podcast I was listening to that even they ended up it was funny. It was a podcast regarding PlayStation, and it was, I want to say it was probably Colin Moriarty's, but anyway, the point is that they were like, oh, have you had the experience on with the PlayStation, blah blah blah, with the haptics and all this? He goes, no, I'm playing this on Xbox. They're like, okay, I kind of figured that. And he was like, I have it there. I got to use it for something, right? Dying laughing. I was like, yeah. So again, not laughing in any malicious way. I'm just saying, it's, clearly even Xbox owners are pointing out the obvious that, well, and this person has a PlayStation 5 and an Xbox Series X, and they're like, they got it on the Series X just so they can say they're using the Series X, you know what I mean? But it was also available on PlayStation 5. So anyway, so yeah, my last game there is The Last Night, sir, and such a beautiful looking trailer. And I'm beginning to think that was more of a tech demo or something. You know what I mean? I just don't know. It really feels like
coming. Come on.
I'm not saying it's not coming, but I'm saying that I really beginning to think that what they had. I mean, just looking at the time frame, and this is on Microsoft stage that they showed this off. It's not like they don't have some sort of backup. I just really think that it was more of a concept. I'm sorry, a concept trailer as opposed to an actual. Hey, we already have most of this or some of this done. Instead they said, here's what we want to do. We'll figure out how to do it as we go.
Let me see. Let me make sure that this game was not released on Steam.
It
or
was
something.
not. Believe me, it was not. You can check.
Night. Steam store. The last night. Okay, here we go. Release TBA. But it's on Steam, so PC version, baby.
Oh, okay. That may be the way I go. Who knows? I don't know. So anyway, any more, sir? Anything else there?
No, I had the two that I had. You took them, which
I did. Oh, okay. I'm sorry.
Yeah, the Bayonetta and Metroid Prime were. No, but I knew you were gonna mention them anyway because it is obvious. Those were the big ones.
They're missing. They're literally missing in actions. Like we've gone several years here, and we know that they're happening. And Nintendo, for the most part, they're pretty. I mean, we just know these are particularly Metroid are going to be. That's their staple. But anyway, all right, guys. Well, thanks so much for.
I'm looking at the trailer of the last night, and it just brings it all back. It's like that game, man.
Yes.
Wow, that thing looks.
I want to say that was the one we did at your house, and this was a house, not the house you're in now, the one before that. And Chakra was there, and so was Shadow. That's the E3 that was announced at, and then we did the video. Yeah, the reaction. So
the reaction, we were like, "Oh shit, this is legit."
It looks ridiculous, but anyway, thanks again, guys, for tuning in to an awesome real episode 249. As always, please go to goodgame.rocks, join the conversation there, and of course, like, subscribe, and share the podcast with everyone. This is Maddog signing off this week, saying, "Praise the sun." Mr. Santos, take us home.
Guys, there's gonna be a poll in the group. I'm gonna put side by side screenshots of Judgment on PS4 and Judgment on PS5, and you guys are gonna vote which version do you think looks better. All right, that's it.
All right. And there you have it. And I will also put a poll for more important things like who is using Stadia. Please let us know. And if you are, I'm sorry.
Cannot play.
What was I say? I'm sorry because I feel that's going to eventually go to the graveyard. But
if you are, can I have your password?
I want to just give it a shot. All right, guys. We'll see you next week.
GG!